Please don't do that. Hey, stop hitting the desk, Leroy.
Sorry.
God, it's like your first night on here, man. Seriously, when can I get some help that's decent? Oh, wait, we're live? Oh, shit. You're worse than Amy. God, fuck you, Lamp. Just fucking shocked the shit out of me.
Are you okay there, babe?
Fuck. I just took like 175 fucking kilojoules to the neck. Oh.
That's for talking shit to me.
Oh. Wait, what's going on with the thing? What? Where's the video?
Yeah.
For the love of Pete, can anything else go wrong?
Don't ask that. Seriously.
I just want that Irish girl from Facebook to call back. God, she sounded freaking sexy as hell.
I like to polish my shillelagh.
Oh, Matthew, thank you for calling Facebook. Guys, what if I could go ahead and polish your knob with my mouth? I'd just love to come on over and find your pot of gold. Yes, you may.
Your pot of
Your
gold.
lucky charms.
My wife is right here. Oh, don't worry about it, love. We can throw her in the middle. My God, man. What big eye you have.
Do you want the truth? Are you tired of being so confused? You feel like you're more fucked up than the lies on the evening news. Well, just step right in. We can talk about it all as friends. And if you want, we can hug and kiss and make up for the party ends. Agree or disagree, stop arguing me. 'Cause I'm everything you want, damn sure what you need. I won't tell no lies, back up all the facts with truth. And if you can't get down with that, you must be somebody's stuff.
Yeah. Hogs Twins here. Check out our friend Matthew Spirit at his podcast at The Dumb Show and his website. Yeah. Don'tUnfriendMe.com. Yeah.
They've done some work.
What?
Spreely. It's changed.
It's
Oh,
Red
I know.
Friday.
Spreely looks amazing.
Yeah, it's like,
RED Friday,
pretty cool
which stands
looking.
for Remember Everyone Deployed. A movement designed to honor veterans and deployed U.S. troops by wearing a red shirt every Friday. As simple as that may be, Red Friday
Matt, I was wondering if I could go ahead and take my shirt off and put it at the bottom of your bed.
is a great way
That's South African, by the way.
Yeah, I've seen
to back those who
some
serve our
Irish.
country.
I can do some. Well, listen, she has a sister.
Go to dumbshow.com and search for Red Friday to get your red on.
Adjusting transmitter output.
This is the Don't Unfriend Me Show with your hosts,
Oh, it's
Matt,
horrible,
Leroy,
Horrible.
Amy, Olivia, and Mike. Geopolitics, military analysis, and election coverage. Coming to you live on the Spreely.tv network and all major social media channels at The Dumb Show. Honest, direct, Unfiltered. We can agree, we can disagree. Just don't unfriend me.
Yeah, listen, this is
A kerfuckle.
This is a kerfuckle. This is a story for the ages. So, okay. So first of all, my workout streak has been awesome lately. Like I am feeling super empowered, feeling strong, all that type of stuff. Yeah, we're feeling really good.
Jack. You look awesome. Yeah.
Thanks, buddy. Appreciate you. So I don't even sweat it. I appreciate you. And your check's in the mail. So I'm fixing his camera while we talk. So because his lighting sucks. So I'm sitting here. I'm ready to go work out, and I got my shake. I got everything I need, and all of a sudden I get a phone call, and I don't know who's on the phone, and I'm just waiting. I'm waiting to hear what's going on. And as I'm fixing his camera because he can't seem to find the right light, I'm like, I answer it like I always do. I'm like, hello. Because I don't recognize the number. And if I don't recognize the number, you're hi, I want to sell you car insurance type person. So I wait for, the person and they go, hi. But it's not hi, it's hello. And I'm like,
That sounds English.
excuse me, it was my phone call. You weren't even here.
Sorry.
I'm glad you weren't here. So
I'll say that he's gone through about 3 different accents since the show started about 2 minutes ago.
It's true. I did South African, I've done Irish, and now I've done English. So it's like, hello.
Scottish.
Alles gute Körper, you're gonna call it horrible. Because that's basically Scottish. Anyway, so she's just, I'm a little flustered, man. So her voice comes in and she's just like an Irish goddess. And I'm just like, yeah? And she's like, this is Meta. There's like, this is Helga from Sweden. I do, hello. And she does this amazing Irish accent. And I'm just like, okay. And I'm like, you guys have me blocked on stars. You have me blocked on reels, but I don't even care about that. How are you today? Anyway, so I can't post in the Dumb Nation Facebook group. It's the one where you guys can join right now and save 20% on all, or 15% on all your clothes and coffee and shit. So she's like, oh, this is horrible. She's like, I'm reading your account. This is the worst thing I've ever seen. Why do they treat you so poorly? And I'm like, oh my God, this is 3 years and I got a Meta employee. She's like, this is ridiculous. You haven't done anything wrong. It's been 2.5 years since you even had a strike or a warning. She's like, I don't know what's going on. We're going to figure it out for you. And so she's going to, so I'm late. So I didn't get to work out and we have nothing prepared, like nothing. We don't know what we're going to talk about. Luckily, there's a whole bunch going on in the world, so we'll be fine. Leroy, welcome
I can
to the
help you work out later.
Ooh.
Hey, thank you very much. Welcome.
Could you do the Irish? Shut up, Leroy. I'm talking to Olivia. Can you do the Irish accent for me, honey?
No.
Okay.
Sorry.
Can
You'll
I wear
just have to
Can I wear
imagine
my
it.
kilt and have my sunshine? Just go ahead and bask all over your field of glory.
You're my sunshine.
Go ahead, Leroy. So, just talk.
I wasn't going
Did
to
you
say
figure out?
anything now. It's too late
Did you
now.
figure out? Did you figure out your
done
light
cut me
yet?
deep.
Did you figure out your light yet?
Fine. It's the same lighting level as it's been for the last 2 years.
No, see, there's no reason to censor yourself. We're an adult show. Welcome to the Don't Unfriend Me show, everybody. We're gonna have a good one tonight. It's Friday night. It's a crazy night. I apologize that we didn't come uber prepared, but it's good to have you nonetheless. Louisiana is watching. It's good to have the entire state. I think our numbers would be a little better if
The entirety of the state of Louisiana.
Wouldn't that be nice? Hey, Louisiana, can you guys do me a favor? Go out and like the post, because if we don't reach 100 tonight, I'm out of here. And we've got a good number on. It's early, so do you think you'd throw some likes? I'd appreciate it. Hi, Santana. Welcome. Amy, good to have you here, as always. Kat
Get up
is
to
watching.
200. I hear Matt might take off his shirt.
I don't need 200 for that, but I'm saving myself for my Irish lass.
I was going to say.
My Irish lass. Olivia was right here, and I'm like, God, you have a good. I'm like, listen, my wife is right here, but can I just say, you have a great voice. And Olivia's like, turn it on so I can hear her. And I'm like, God, I love my wife. She's, JD, this is entertaining. Open mic. It does feel like an open mic night. It feels like an open mic night. Olivia's all over. Breathe in, breathe out, repeat. You want to know something great? Let me tell you something that was great. I'm going blind.
You're supposed
Everything
to
is-
stop that when you were a teen.
Well, not with the Irish lass on. I mean, gosh, like clean up on aisle 4.
That's what
Okay,
you call
so no-
rolling out the red carpet.
That's oh yeah, because Irish, yeah. In this case, I guarantee the carpet matches the drapes.
Oh my gosh.
What? I just.
This is not a show for the kids tonight. Only go.
Sorry.
Can I go ahead and be a William Wallace and I shove my lightning rod up your house?
William Wallace has a lightning rod?
Yeah. He's 11 feet tall and he's got lightning bolts shooting out of his arse.
That's all right.
Come on, man. He's Scottish, by the way. Whatever. Irish, Scottish, same thing. It's my island. Okay.
Haven't you heard?
God's pretty sure he can get me out of this, but he's pretty sure you're fucked.
Richard, you're fucked. Yeah.
Such a good movie.
Oh my God. Dude, if you go down this road, it cannot be a full 2 hours
We're
of
done.
movie references.
No, we're in trouble. We're in trouble. Listen, this is when the show is at its finest because it's just like either you get what we're doing or you have no idea. And if you have no idea, just watch for a few months and you'll finally get it. But the people who do are pissing themselves. All right, so I did a video earlier, and it had Trump on there, and I was trashing Biden, and it really focused on, D-Day, March 14th, annualized COVID. It's been 4 years. So now when Democrats ask you the question, hey, are you better off than you were 4 years ago? This time it actually helps them. Finally.
Right.
It only took them 4 years. So I'm calling them out. I'm obviously, see, this is what I love to do. I love to explain the Democrat playbook so it's no longer a surprise. And I feel somehow I'm making an impact so people don't fall for it. And Deborah comes on. I'm not going to give you Deborah's full name. But those of you who know Deborah. She's been with us a long time, 3 years. And she's been here since almost the beginning. And she makes a post on there. And I'm going to be honest, for my last 7 or 8 videos, she seems to make a post, and it's always negative, right? And that's okay. I want to be challenged. I do. But I don't like passive aggressive. Like, dude, that is the worst thing to do to me. Like, if you're mad, just tell me you're mad. I don't need to play my mother with you, right? I did that shit for 20 years with her. I don't need anyone to do that. So, although Deborah wasn't doing that, I felt she was hitting my videos a little bit. So I just called her out on it. And she responded back and, responded back something like, well, I'm really sorry to create conflict or something. And I'm like, uh-oh.
Are you?
Are you though? No. That's not where I was. I was actually, I'm a dick. So I was like, I care about my viewers. I really do. And if knowing that I have her phone number and email because she's bought things from the show, I'm like, screw it. I'm going to reach out to her. So I sent her an email. I said, hey, let's talk live. Let's just call me, let's have a talk. And completely, like 3 seconds after he picked up the phone, I heard her voice and everything was done. And it just goes to show that when you're in a situation, and this whole premise of this show is the Don't Unfriend Me show, it's about friendships. And I'm not going to lie, I have developed some of the best friendships that I've had in my life from this show. And I can honestly say it's made Olivia and I stronger. It's made Amy, my very good friend, close to me.
You and that Irish lass are strong.
That Irish lass and I are attached like ball to glove. And, Amy Stamcombe, Amber and Lee, even some of the people who hate me now, Jefferson. I can look at Maureen. Elizabeth. Maybe Chip. And I'm trying to think if there's anyone else. No, I don't think so.
Who was the guy? Hold on. Who was
Kevin?
Sorry. I don't know. I can't hear. What? I can't hear you. What did you say? What did you say? Here, go ahead. Go ahead and say it again. What?
Who was the guy that when you first came on, he was like the poster boy for the whipping child? Who the hell was that? Do you remember that?
Was that Chav?
No, it was.
Well,
it was somebody that you teed off on for a couple of days straight.
Oh God, I don't know. Oh, listen. How long are you gonna be here? I mean, like, you got a Snickers bar? But the whole point is, there's so many people in this group, and Kevin and Glenn and I'm freaking. God, how many people am I forgetting? Mel. I feel like I'm at an Oscar awards show and I'm forgetting everybody. But there's so many people. Santa Claus. There's just so many damn people. Blankman. And
Dusty
Hold on.
Dinkelman, wasn't that the guy?
Dusty
Oh,
Dusty freaking Dinkelman.
That-
Tina Savage. That's right, Tina Savage. Deborah.
Yeah.
Oh my God, Vicky. How can I forget
Maureen?
Vicky? I already said Maureen.
Oh.
I know I'm missing somebody. Who else?
Judy, Kevin,
Judy. I already said Kevin. Santana. I know I'm forgetting somebody. Who else?
Sarah,
Sarah. I mean, yeah, no. Who else?
And I see Roy,
Kristen,
Who?
Kristen.
No. What did you say, Leroy?
and I see Amy.
You're breaking up. I can't hear. What? You mentioned a name.
Up.
Is it Leroy?
How's that? Is it any better?
No, you can turn it back down. That's oh yeah, Leroy's kind of important too. I kind of forgot him.
You didn't thank me.
Carrie, I did say Olivia. You're the first one I mentioned. I said Olivia and I's relationship has gotten stronger. I
You
just
did.
said that.
He
I'm
did.
just trying to be passive aggressive because I know how much you like it.
Yes, ma'am. Can I have another? But listen, there's so many people who Kevin who I don't know. Just apply it to you, Strauss. Who cares? Even if it's true, it doesn't matter. Your name's Kevin. Listen, I've forgotten people. I guarantee I've forgotten people. And Amy Boudreau. I want to call her like Boudreau.
Amy Bordeaux.
Boudreau the dog. Yes, movie.
Don't forget her mom.
I mean,
Betsy.
on
You
that
little
one.
puddle. What are you, puddle pumper? You poodle jumper? Poodle killer?
Kids movie?
Hey, some popcorn. Ah, ha, ha.
Somebody was on the
No,
stream.
hold on.
Wait.
No,
what?
Leroy, movie.
I don't know it. I just asked. I'm like, is that a kids movie? I don't know.
I got out of high school. I joined the army. I had a certain disposition, a moral flexibility, if you will. I became a contract killer for the CIA, and I still am.
I know.
Oh my.
I know.
Oh my God.
I know.
Come on, Motown.
Congratulations, Olivia. Maybe you could enlighten me here.
Come on, Motown listeners. Oh my God, dude, you have not. Okay, no, let me do
such a
it for
good
him,
movie.
Leroy. When you're done with this, you're getting off this show, and you're putting in Gross Point Blank.
Oh my
And you are going to
Oh.
watch. No, you haven't seen it.
Oh,
you haven't.
such
No,
a
no.
good
If
movie.
you don't know, no. If you can't remember the lines, it wasn't you. You didn't watch it enough.
I haven't seen it in 20 years. Yeah.
You
Oh
need.
my gosh,
you need to
such a
watch it
movie.
again. You need to. And you need. I'm disappointed in you.
Whatever. Care.
So anyway, the point is that the show creates relationships and friendships, and it's just awesome to know that when you're on Facebook, I mean, you could just that relationship could have walked away. Like I could have said something to Debbie and been mean, or she could have been mean, but instead we pick up the phone, we call, and I'm like, hey, I'm up against it. I've got like 10 minutes, and I've got this Irish woman on the phone, and I got to get you off of here. But we had a good talk, and I think it's important, and if we can do more of that, this country is going to be just fine. Leroy, you wanted to talk about something tonight, and
Can I
there's.
say something real quick?
Oh, I'm sorry, baby. I interrupted you. Yeah.
I just say there is someone on the stream tonight on Facebook. Her name is Adeline Muggleton, and I love her last name.
Adeline Muggleton.
That is the best last name ever.
Bloomin' bloke. I can't believe we found Adeline Muggleton.
That definitely sounds like a character in a movie. You know?
Hey, Addie, did you get your Hogwarts letter yet? Let us know. What type of witch will you be? Will you be a Slytherin? Will you be a Hufflepuff? Will you be a Gryffindor? Or possibly a Ravenclaw? Let us know. So excited. What does a sorting hat say about you?
I would pay to have her call in just to hear her say the line, "You're a wizard, Harry."
You're a wizard, Harry.
No. You're a whiz, Harry. It's not Harry. It's Harry. Dude, how the hell did nobody appreciate my sorting hat voice?
I appreciate
that was
it.
fantastic. I know just what to
that's
do
good.
with
That's
you.
good.
You know, we could just do a show of impersonations by you, dear.
Adeline Muggington. It's Muggleton.
I said Muggleton.
I know. I was doing the voice. You know, if you're just going to steal my thunder all the time, why don't you just do it here?
Passive aggressive much, dear.
No, that's aggressive.
Gee.
You'll see it. You'll see
That's not
aggressive
passive.
tonight. Yeah, you'll see aggressive. You'll be like, safe word. I'll be like, fuck that word. Okay. So let's. All right. So Adeline Muggleton. It's just such a. You just want to drink butterbeer when you go ahead and read that name. Okay. So you wanted to talk about something. Are you done, Liv? Did you get your attention? Do you need anything else? Okay, Leroy.
Did I get my attention? Are you serious?
It's going to be a contentious night tonight. I have a feeling that there's going to be holy crap, how many of these did you send me, buddy? Okay.
That was just the exchanges from this wanker.
Okay, so let me see if I can sort this. Let me get my sorting hat.
So while Matt's doing that,
no, we're not ready yet. Hold on.
I was just going to tee it up and explain.
All right, tee it up. Go ahead.
All right.
Go ahead.
So just so that everyone's aware, I occasionally frequent other sites, right? Other people's pages. I like to watch the Young Turks or CNN or whatever, just because I like to know what the other side is thinking, right? And so every now and then when they post something a little on the silly side, I might retort back with some actual fact. And in this case, somebody replied back. This gentleman's name was Fabio. I'm going to butcher this dude's last name.
Fabio.
He's from Portugal. Fabio Stanzerknack, something like that.
I cannot believe it's not butter. I cannot believe it's
he
not
is
butter.
from Portugal, and he immediately, after I had went out and said stuff like Nazis were evil, Trump is an ass.
No, I got them all. That's what I told you to wait for. Which one's first?
It doesn't matter. Take your pick. Dealer's choice.
No. Okay. All right. So Fabio. Okay.
Some of the comments.
Is this where he goes? Dude, you won't let me do this. Will you just let me set this up for a minute? I mean, it doesn't say the Don't Unfriend Me Leroy show.
It doesn't say the Don't Unfriend Me Matt show either.
It doesn't need to because everyone knows. Okay, so hold on. All right, so you started it off. I'm assuming where you put. Was it the fascism post or was it?
Yeah.
Okay, or was it I invite you to debate me live?
No,
is that the second one? Okay,
yeah, that
so
was like 3, I think.
Okay, so here's the first one then. Okay, and it says, I think, so Fabio, right?
Yeah.
Fabio. Okay. So Fabio, any evidence? My claim was that the authoritarianism mostly occurs on the left. Evidence, Che Guevara, Stalin, Pol Pot, and Mao. You say that I don't know history. Who am I missing? Please provide some examples of a right-winger who murdered the way these people did. My claim is Adolf was a left-winger. He was in many ways against private ownership of guns, free speech, pro-socialism, etc. Then Fabio cannot believe it's no buh, says evidence for historical facts, history lessons, Trump-tard. That's a good retort. It's good.
Exactly.
Dude, how did you feel when that happened? I mean, you were just smoked.
Oh, I was demoralized right then and there. I knew I was dealing with an intellectual giant.
Yeah. Okay. So this is funny. I want to get involved in this. So then we saw this one, which was, okay. It says, history has taught us authoritarianism occurs more on the left. Finger pointing and making claims of something you know nothing about is a perfect example. You would have been during the Salem witch trials. It seems you skipped many history lessons. I got to do it in his voice. It seems you skipped many history lessons. Maybe you should try to teach Germans about their own history. Oh, he's German?
No, he's Portuguese.
Oh, he's Portuguese? It seems you, let's see. It seems you skip many history lessons, Vato. Maybe you should try to teach Germans about their own history, Trump-tard.
That's because, listen, probably closer to truth than you think.
All Puerto Ricans, Cuban, they're all Mexican. They're all Mexican.
Yeah, they all have Cadillacs with the bouncy wheels, yes.
Ale, Chevy Nova sauce. Come on. Get it, cuz. All right, so then you said,
goodness.
then you said, hold on. Okay. A fact is a fact. Trump-tard, you and Nazis. He spelled it N4ZYS. Oh my God. Shared tiki torches.
I think he was trying to avert, Facebook actually hitting him on the language. So
right, but you can't do it so much that you sound like a freaking mentally deficient midget.
Right.
He goes, see, now you're going to talk crap. And then you invited him onto the show. Is that correct?
I did. I was like, all right, well, because you're such an expert on these fields, and I know next to nothing about history or authoritarianism or politics or anything like that, I would invite you to come on and, you can school me. I even said that. I was like, look, if you want to be intellectual about it. But if you're just going to name call, I said you're probably just projecting.
So it said this. Fabio says, I invite you to debate me live tonight on the Don't Unfriend Me show, Holmes. We go live at 7 p.m. and you can oh, that's you.
That's me.
Let me try that again. Here we go. I invite you to debate me live tonight on the Don't Unfriend Me show. We go live at 7 p.m. and you can embarrass me in an intellectual debate. How's that sound? I see you don't have enough sack. Ooh, you question his manhood. Then he says, it will only need a single page document of Germany Bundestag claimed, and NASDAP was right-wing extremist party, which is public, and I will have it. And of course, the WASP American will stay. They are wrong about themselves. Holy shit.
Right. Right.
Dude, first of all, dipshit. I'm sorry, Leroy. Can you please just define for me what the Nazi party stands for? I'm sorry, the N4YZI party, what that stands for. Leroy, would you educate me? What is that? Isn't Nazi a real thing?
They're a real thing. They were a real group. I swear to God, I thought it was nationalized socialist.
No, it couldn't be. That would be a progressive and leftist ideology. I mean, doesn't that? Well, let me ask you a question. Let's dive into something else. Because listen, just because the Reich has socialist in the name doesn't mean it's socialist, right? It actually does. True. But let's pretend it doesn't. Let's just pretend it doesn't, right? Maybe they were talking about social experiments. Because listen, the Nazis loved experiments. Just ask the Jews. They did. So I have a question for you, Leroy.
Sir?
Can you tell me some of the progressive programs that Nazi Germany may have had that would align with, progressivism versus the right side? Because in 1940, what's funny, 40 to 46, all the way up to 52, Republicans failed to win just about anything as a political group. The reason why is because they believed in the same things that the Nazis did, not because they were paralleled, but because their parties were fractured into progressivism. And the rights did Social Security. They did handing out money to people who were less fortunate. They had entitlement programs. They believed in extended vacation. So we learned, and people go, well, the Republicans used to be progressive. And it's yeah, we learned our lesson. But could you educate me in some of the Nazi beliefs in the political system and what they did for the German people, please?
Well, actually, I think you've already hit up on some of the big ones, but I would also, again, add to that they also love to suppress free speech. And one of the first things that Hitler had done after he got into office was to say that, hey, look, nobody, you don't have a right to own guns. You don't have that. We're going to increase everyone's tax rate. We're going to give everyone a bump in their taxes, but that's because we want to, we want to give back to everybody. We want to make sure that we have all of these awesome programs. You can just kind of be more reliant on the state. That'd be a great thing. We want to give to you, isn't that? Doesn't that sound nice?
How did the Jews like those policies? Will you let me know?
Sure.
I heard they were a gas. They were just burning to get involved.
That's just
it's called the truth. It's called the truth. Yeah, it's called the truth. So if you want to sit here, because here's the thing, it sounds very much like leftist, because here's the last little cherry on top of that whipped cream and banana bullshit sundae that you want to go ahead and us to eat, Fabio, is here's the real truth, is that the worst thing that the Nazis did is they murdered anyone who they deemed fit, and they blamed everyone who stood against them deserved to die the same fate as the Jews. That doesn't sound like Republicans to me. That sounds like a party who's been basked in that since they were wearing white hoods and driving around with torches on giant horses. Maybe the Knights of the Ku Klux Klan, you've heard of them. They were a big Republican Party favorite. Lincoln led them. I don't know if you knew that. Abraham Lincoln led the Ku Klux Klan, so I just thought you'd want to know. Anywho... Leroy?
And I just want to add one thing to that, and that's why I was so quick to point out to this goober that
I haven't heard that in years.
There was no way that parties like or leaders like Pol Pot and Stalin and Mao Zedong were in any way authoritarian. Has more to do with the left, and this guy would not come on to debate me. Why? Because he was spineless.
We're not done. And by the way, yes, it was harsh. And there are too many people out there that say the Holocaust didn't happen. And they're all over Twitter and they've been on this program. I don't give a shit. I will bring light to Auschwitz. I will bring light to Poland. I will bring light to the other 37 concentration camps all along Europe and make sure people will always remember that 11 million people were murdered and extinguished based upon some asshole who wanted a power grab and wanted someone to blame for World War I. And wanted to blame for the Versailles Treaty. So if you're going to sit here and get upset at me, I don't care. Because guess what? I promise you this. I'm more German and more Jewish than just about everyone else on this panel for sure. Okay? So there it is. And listen, as the Groypers have pointed out immensely, I've got dirty Jewish blood in me. So therefore, since my great-grandmother was Jewish, I'm Jewish too, because it's passed along with bad blood. That's what they said live, if you all remember that bullshit. So I can go ahead and get to say what I want. I have a black friend. I'm fine. I have a Jewish friend too. So I can say whatever I want. Leroy, can I be Fabio real quick?
Absolutely.
Hey, do me a favor, Holmes. Take off your headphones, eh? Take them off. Do it. Okay, now I want you to grab your hat and I want you to take your hat off. Do it for me real quick. Just take your fucking hat off. You're a fucking skinhead. I knew it. You Nazi fuck.
Dude, I'm bald from radiation. God.
That's when you should have done the Russian voice. As in Chernobyl. So here's the thing. The 3 years, and I cussed a little bit. I'm sorry. I was in character. I was having some fun.
What?
3 years we've been doing this show, almost longer, almost 3.5.
Yeah.
Almost 3.5. And what I have found is that the left can't meme. That's for sure. And the left can't debate. I'm sorry. I'm not saying that they're
hundreds of invites I have sent out to various, people on Facebook saying, "Hey, come on the show. We'll debate it. If you're such a, mental giant, let's go for it, right? It'll be an easy fight according to you, right?" Nobody has ever taken up that challenge.
Oh, and the ones that have, basically, they for 3 weeks later, they start researching all their alternative facts and keep posting. See, I told you I was right, but that's not what you knew during the debate. And yes, there may have been things that I said wrong, but the real caveat to that is that you weren't able to be quick enough on your feet to actually point out the things that I said that were wrong. It doesn't count. You're not. You ever do debate in school? You didn't go, "Excuse me, I'm going to go home for the weekend and think about that question." No, that's not the way it works. Okay? Right. It's called debate, not a knitting class. Anyway, we've proved tonight that Leroy's a Nazi.
What?
You did. You bald head, dude. Show us your SS tattoo. God. You know you've got one. You've got the Sesame Street tattoo somewhere, I'm sure.
I've got it tattooed on the onion ring in between my ham cheeks.
Whoa, dude. Dude. Now that was way, like me making the comment about gassing and firing wasn't even close to that. Like that made my stomach churn. You know what's great after this?
You get the visual. Yeah.
I get to have sex with my wife. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to do show you what debate looks like.
We know what's on your mind. It's the Irish chick.
Oh, yeah. Well, I want to do something that
Olivia,
I have.
Can you speak with that Irish accent?
Mm-mm.
No?
I need to learn.
You don't really need to talk. You just need to lay there. You won't feel a thing.
Boy.
You won't feel a thing. In fact, when you talk, you just ruin it.
Make you holla.
All right, now listen. She didn't hear me say that. Okay, so, oh, look, there's 3 of her. Holy shit, I'm getting 6 pairs of eyes. Actually, it would be, do the math, Matt, 12.
12.
I already did it. Ha. Okay. So shut up, Leroy. Stop making noise in the background, man. We're a full production studio here. What? Why? You got your books. Do you like them?
I love them. I wanted to show these to everyone.
All right, hold on. Let me get you back on.
And let me tell you, these are of such high quality. I was amazed at the quality of these. Honestly, these are engraved on 3 sides, right? And then the books themselves were just fantastic. Very high quality, hardback. It's got copies of the original documents in the front cover, and then it goes through and talks about those documents in the middle. I love these. Thank you, Matt.
Well, hey, it's my pleasure. First of all, you can get those at thedumbshow.com, and you just go do a search on the show site, and put in Documents of Freedom. By the way, folks, real quick, link tap go / The Dumb Show, DUM. You can go there. You can follow us. You can like us. You can find where we are at with our news site. News site's killing it, by the way. I think we're at 75,000 hits this week alone. People are hitting these articles, and it's so cool to see. So people are reading them. They're liking them. People are engaging. Get over there, have some conversation. But also, if you go to Link Tap Go, you can donate to the show. You see everybody's name up here who's liking and following and all that. You can also donate, get your name in lights. And if you don't want to donate that way and get the recognition, you can do it quietly just by going to PayPal. There was also a $65 donation today and a $55 donation. Those two people wanted to be anonymous, so thank you for your donation. All right, let's get into it.
Congratulations. That's awesome.
Yes, thank you. Now, I want to give some props to Benny Johnson. And it's to the point where I actually want to reach out to Benny. I already said something. A lot of people who follow me on Twitter realize that I did, and a lot of people liked it and were like, oh, that's really cool. I just said, Benny, I'm hard on you. But if you did this all the time, I never would be. And I was so impressed. This is the Benny Johnson that people deserve to hear. And this is a Benny Johnson that I would listen to. And I would stop and I would allow him to use my voice, where I'd let him speak for me. Because I'm very good at ranting, and people know when you get me started, man, I'm like the juggernaut. Once I get moving, you can't stop me. Benny, he smoked this guy. Guy name was Destiny. First of all, he just should be called Duke. Yeah, he should be called Doogie Howser. This guy was just complete putz. But Benny smoked him. I want to watch this video, and I was very impressed. I really was. And there's some things that I don't like about Benny. I'm not going to lie, but damn, I am super impressed with what he did here. Watch this.
Since it's open, and so for all the rhetorical issues.
All right. So Benny went over to Piers Morgan, that pretentious dick. all the kids came over and played on my dick this summer, and they all had a good time too.
I will say this, over the years, it really does seem like Piers Morgan has kind of shifted a little bit. And every now and then he'll still go into like some contentious territory just for ratings. But more or less, after he got his ass smoked, specifically about like gun control and authoritarian.
Shapiro really handed him the Constitution.
Sure did.
Shapiro just goes, here you go. I went and bought something for you. Here's the Constitution.
I love that.
But listen, I don't dislike Piers Morgan. I think he is 100% on the wrong side of gun control, and I think every time he does, I just want to recite the American Revolution and how we kick their limey asses back to the pond, back over the pond. But this is this Destiny guy. Now, I believe Destiny debated somebody just recently. Hold on, let me get it.
The Destiny debate.
Who did he debate? Hold on. Oh, he debated Ben Shapiro. And it was about Palestine and Gaza. This guy is what is known as, he placates during the debate. So what he'll do is he will give you bones of sacrificial bones. He'll give up his position slightly to look magnanimous, and then he will come back and completely try to beat you to death with the same bone he just gave you. That is prototypical for most liberals because they are fairly myopic thinkers. They don't necessarily lead their comments down a path of bringing it back home, and they'll just try to continually deflect and move the goalposts until you get so frustrated. Well, this is what this guy does. And Benny, gotta say, looking good, dude. He's got his freaking Malcolm X glasses on. Yep. His hair is, he's put on some muscle. He's been lifting, and he doesn't look like a scrawny. Now, he's not a tough guy, and he puts all the guns behind his stuff, and he took my set still, you little prick, and I know you did, but you crush this. You absolutely crush this. So here it is. Listen to this. I think everyone will appreciate it.
So for all the rhetorical issues around Trump and the supposed meanness, there are tens of millions of Americans who are queuing up to vote for him.
Yeah, so let's talk about tens of millions.
Sarah, I don't like Nick Fuentes. That's kind of like on this show, mentioning Nick Fuentes is like everybody goes, oh boy, because the Groypers, they stalked our show for a long time. And I've had debates with many of them, and dare I say some good conversations. But the fact that Destiny talks to Nick Fuentes, that doesn't help me feel any better about Destiny. Yeah, that's it. Here we go.
Particularly take quite a bit of umbrage with the description of Donald Trump as demonic. I think that is quite shocking as a Christian myself to call somebody demonic like Donald Trump, who's actually against the 10 million people who have been human smuggled into this country, many of them children. I remember a time not too long ago when people...
Leroy, are you listening?
Yes.
Stop working. Tell the U.S. government to piss off. All right, here we go.
The left cared about children in cages. Yet now they're calling Donald Trump demonic. He wants to stop these human smuggling by the cartels. Have you ever been down to the border, Destiny? Have you seen the rape trees? Have you seen the little children's toys that are left down there from the human smuggling that is created by Joe Biden, the biggest human smuggler in human history? Do you know the carnage and the horror that is being created by those policies? Let's not even talk about how what Joe Biden has done to the world stage. Donald Trump brought world peace. You're going to talk about Kurds and wars? How about Ukraine? Joe Biden could have stopped that war before it even started. Joe Biden continues that war and continues the funding of that war that is leading to the wholesale slaughter of an entire region. Joe Biden could stop it right now. Joe Biden has brought war around the world. And then let's talk about the fentanyl poisoning America. You want to talk about cruelty? It took Joe Biden 400 days to go to East Palestine in Ohio, a city that was poisoned by our federal government in a chemical explosion. Much less the chemical explosion that is happening all throughout America with fentanyl slaughtering 100,000 Americans. And the final thing I'll say here, how dare you call Donald Trump demonic when Joe Biden hasn't even said Laken Riley's name correctly, called her Lincoln Riley when he was forced to. This woman was slaughtered by a criminal alien who was in this country illegally, who was released by Democrats and went on to slaughter a nursing student in Georgia with his bare hands. And Joe Biden apologized to the murderer. How dare you say, that Donald Trump's demonic? Can you defend any of that behavior? Final thing I'll say here is Joe Biden wouldn't acknowledge his own grandchild. Even the New York Times said that is a sick, evil behavior. So if you're looking for demonic behavior, my friend, I got it for you. It's sitting in the White House in 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue in a diaper right now during nap time.
Wow. Okay, that's what I call a rebuttal.
That was awesome.
Let's come to Dave.
He's not done. He's not done.
That was awesome.
Only reference. This is when Joe Biden, in the State of the Union address, did not pronounce Laken Riley's name properly.
It's not about him. It's not about me. A woman who was
we've seen all that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Now, Dave, the issue for Biden.
If I may.
Sorry, Benny?
If I may, just since I brought up the clip, if you don't mind, Piers.
Sure.
Could I ask Destiny right now, would you like to apologize to Laken Riley's family for her murder? Since it's open border Democrat policies that you promote on your program, would you like to apologize to the parents of Laken Riley for the murder of her child?
The virtue signaling is off the charts. I didn't kill anybody, so I'm not going to apologize to anybody for somebody getting killed.
But there are
unfortunately, there are a lot of
policies
people that get killed in the United States for a large variety of reasons. If anybody gets killed, especially based on the background of this guy, this guy definitely should have been deported. I don't think anybody disagrees with that.
Why wasn't
There's
he?
the bone. There's the bone. Now here it comes. He's going to try to crack it over Benny's head. I would love to debate Destiny. I would. First of all, I'd be like, what's your real name, douche plow? Because I am not calling you Destiny. Okay, it's not going to happen. I'm not going to call you. I'm not going to call you Diamond. Okay, I'm not going to call you Fantasia. I'm not going to call you any other stripper names. What's your Christian name? It's either that or douche plow is what you get. I'm not calling you Destiny. My name's Phantasmical. I dance at the Diamond Cabaret on weeknights.
But hey, listen, if you want the border stuff to be cleared up so much, why don't you tell Republicans to stop turning into a game in the White House or in the
Oh, dude. This guy's so bad.
In Congress,
No pause. Let's run it. Let's finish it. Then we can do
actually
it.
approve legislation to get more funding down for the border.
Okay,
Right now, it's Republicans who pulled the plug on that because Trump wants to maintain the one little bit of electoral advantage he might have, which is you guys trying to stir stuff up over the border. And it's funny also how you frame this all like, oh, they're trying to stop human smuggling. No, they're not. They're just trying to secure the border. Humans are going to be smuggled all over the place, regardless of whether it's into America or not. It's not like Trump actually cares
But Destiny,
about
the truth, Destiny, what I would say about that is whether you're on the left or right in America, nobody can dispute that the southern border is in complete and utter turmoil. And I'm afraid if you're the President of the United States and you've been there for 3 years, it's on you, right? He's done nothing to stop it. In fact, he's made it a lot.
Absolutely. Go ahead, Leroy. You get first, and then Livia, you hit it next.
Well, we've covered this on the
Leroy,
show before.
wait. Liv's got to go first because I can't. You know why? We've talked about this because you're going to take all her talking points, and then she's going to say, "Hey, guess what? I agree with Leroy." Go ahead, Olivia.
Well, I don't know who this Destiny dude is, but yeah, he's definitely a douchebag. My God. He looks funky too.
That's great. Personal insults. I'm sure that'll go over well. Did you as far as Benny's
I thought it was great. I mean, the only times I've ever seen any Benny clips are the ones you've played for the show because I don't watch any other podcasts or videocasts or anything. So, but no, I was very impressed with what he said, and I don't like Piers Morgan either, but what he said right there was nice.
Yeah.
At the very end.
Yeah.
But yeah, this Destiny dude, I would love to have him on. I'll debate him. I'm not even that good of a debater.
He doesn't have a lot of substance. Leroy, your thoughts? Go ahead, buddy.
Yeah. I would just remind this ass clown that it was within 30 days of Biden coming into the White House that he had reversed all of Trump's policies along the southern border. So not only did he chip away at the very policies that were making it a secure border, only to make it much, much worse, right? But then goes on the offensive 3 years into it to say, hey, look, I could make things better if I could only get Congress to support me. No, that's a lie. That's a bold-faced lie. You had every opportunity to just leave it be. All you had to do was let those policies ride, and it would have been absolutely fine. Instead, what do we have? We have record numbers of illegals coming over. We have record numbers of murder and fentanyl and rape trees, just like what Benny was talking about. So no, that's not a valid talking point. Lying sack.
And the interesting thing is Joe Biden. There's 3 points of argument and contention. Like a lot of what Benny said was just kind of her hyperbole. And that's okay because that's what was needed to shut this guy up because there's times where you do need to get emotional in a debate. And everyone is like, you're getting angry. Yes, I'm capable of being intellectual and angry at the same time. I understand that you can't, jerk your pud and chew gum at the same time, but some of us can do both. Here's the points of Leroy certainly can. At least one of them. The thing that I would say is there's 3 points of contention here that I would make. And the first one would be fairly simply, Joe Biden has said that he is not capable and it's not within the confines of his role to secure the border.
Right.
But it's interesting to me that he did have it within his responsibility and capability to make the border insecure. 91 executive actions he reversed of Donald Trump's within those first 30 days is what Leroy was talking about. And if you have the ability to screw a situation up, you would have the ability to unscrew the situation simply by putting those executive orders back in place. So for him to sit here and say it's not true is a complete lie. So number one, the point of Destiny's Child here is bullshit. The second thing that I would say is you can sit here and if you want to play who blocked what, and you want to play one of these things don't belong here, okay? You want to play Sesame Street, that's fine. It's not true, but fine. 3 years, the Biden administration has neglected the border, has done nothing about the border, has put an ineffectual Kamala Harris in charge of the border who has done nothing. You have visited the border kind of twice. One of them is in El Paso, and that might as well be the freaking DMZ and South Korea side because I've been to that border hundreds of times and I've worked in that area. And trust me, you couldn't throw a rock over there without getting blown up. It is literally, you will see fires and explosions going on in Juarez, and you will see the border completely have a military presence, and you're not crossing that sucker at all. It's about as safe as you could possibly be. But to sit here and say, fine, 3 years, Biden ignored it. And for the last 3 months, Republicans have ignored a piece of legislation that would supposedly secure the border. It's not true, but let's say that's true. The question would simply be, why did Joe Biden wait until month 9 before the election to go ahead and address this issue if this issue wasn't absolutely pertinent to the sanctity and the protection of the United States of America and our sovereignty, which means that he was performing dereliction of his duties for 3 years. If it is now important and the Republicans are stopping it from happening, then that means what was stopping you for 3 years? And the answer is absolutely nothing. Let alone that wasn't a border bill. That was a slush fund to fund other countries' borders and not our own. The only thing you included in that border was to increase Border Patrol and increase processing agents. And if you truly wanted that, where they would actually have more people to check the illegal immigrants who are on standby, waiting for their asylum case, waiting for their court date, you would have implemented more judges. You didn't. You implemented more Border Patrol agents to process more illegals to come in and didn't solve the problem with remain in Mexico, and you let them free, and now the court dates won't be 5 years, they'll be 10 years. And the third point of contention, get a fucking haircut and get a job. You don't get to sit here and cast rocks at child sex trafficking like it's no big deal. This is the problem with liberals. You don't have a fucking soul. And I have seen this. You guys are completely anesthetized to feeling any passion and emotion about your cause. And that's what happens when you murder 67 million babies. That's what happens when you put people in chains. That's what happens when you run modern day slave plantations for black votes. That's what happens when you encourage fatherless homes. That's what happens when you encourage, like LBJ and the Great Society say, just give those N-words a little bit of taste and give them a little bit of something to stay on the nipple of the government. And those N-words will never leave us again, and they'll vote Democrat the rest of their life. Yeah, that's what happens when you're that party. I have defended liberals for a long time, but I will tell you, there are no more lines of delineation in the Democrat Party. You own it. As much as Republicans own the alt-right and own J6 and own the Cures, you fuckers own the Klan. You own Japanese internment camps. You own the Underground Railroad and the assassination of people and the bounties on the heads of those people. You own redline districting. You own the 13 states that seceded from the normalcy of every single person deserves the right to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness through civil rights. And it took, you guys say there was a great switch that never happened. It took you 20 years to vote for a Republican. You guys own Tuskegee. You own the Japanese internment camps. And you own 37 of the top 50 highest homicide cities in America. And you can sit here and say all of these things, including Jim Crow laws, including the Daughters of the Confederacy, who went around the South and tried to change what the actual Civil War was about and tried to make it about free labor. Free labor. It was about slavery. Maybe Nikki Haley can't say it, but I'll say it. So all I'm going to say, the third point, is that if you could just demonstrate a little bit, a modicum of compassion, you could have turned that argument on Benny and been like, you know what? I think it's horrendous what Joe Biden did. You could have given him something to demonstrate. But this is the problem with Democrats. You guys walk around. You don't fear anything. You don't believe in God the way we do. You don't believe there's consequences for your actions. And you believe that your entire life is on this mortal coil, and that there is no repercussions for your actions. And unfortunately, I think that is a myopic way of thinking. I think it is a stupid way of thinking, and I would at least hedge my bets a little bit better. Go ahead, Leroy.
So long as the Democrats and the liberals that are currently held up in that position so long as they continue to support leftism, right, then what Matt was talking about, the things that they have to own, historically speaking, along with that, they also have to own the up to 100 million people that have been killed in the name of Marxism. And I'm not saying that they're directly responsible, but so long as you align yourself either morally or ethically with those lines, then yeah, you do own kind of a big part of that, right? Because you're basically saying, hey, look, this was a great idea. Let's go down this path again, see where it leads. History doesn't repeat itself, right? And in the meantime, you've got 100 million people who have died in the wake of leftism. That's all I wanted to add.
And you can't sit here and say, well, that was the past. Okay? Just like I can't send my kid to the Boy Scouts, or excuse me, the Scouts. Because guess why? Because I will never enter my children into any program, no matter how far removed they are away from that, when it comes to child exploitation. Just like I will never allow my child go to a Catholic church where they're with a priest or be a choir boy or anything like that, or an altar boy. I'm sorry. I don't care how far removed. If you support those groups and then forget what is past is prologue, you are doomed to repeat the things that were supposed to teach you the lesson to begin with. So I don't blame liberals for the past. I expect them to be accountable for it and own it. But what do? They turn around and project and they blame Republicans. They turn it on us. And that is where I take issue. It's not that you don't even embrace it and own it, because I would love for this to be remembered, but not blame people of today. But every time you turn around and you blame Republicans for the shit that you did in your party, I have no choice but to put it back around your neck and not mine. I own J6. As a conservative, I own it, and I have stood out against it since the day it happened, driving through Washington, D.C. while it was live. And I did not condone it. I condemned it fervently, and I have ever since. You guys need to own your shit, but instead you try to hang it around us that we're Nazis, we're the KKK. Your history is about as muddled as your freaking wet and soggy beard because you've been looking for love in all the wrong places. Destiny. I'm not going to call you fucking Destiny. God. Whew. I'm fired up. Benny got my juices flowing. I got to say it. I'm a little worked up right now. Benny got me hot and heavy. Woo!
Oh, this could be a good night.
Were you imagining him with an Irish accent?
Might have been. Good for you, Benny. Listen, I'll call him out when he's wrong. His stupid clickbait bullshit, he needs to stop. It just devalues who he is. People will follow you without that stuff. Listen, and who am I to talk? Because I used to have 50, 60, 70, 100,000 views on my videos. Now I'm lucky if I get 1,000. So Benny's doing something right, but I just will not stoop to the clickbait stuff. I just won't do it. It's disingenuous and it's fake. And honestly, if he would stop that, I would listen to him even more. But that is a good start. I like that a lot.
Yeah, that was legit.
Yeah, I don't care about J6. I'm going to I'll talk about J6 because the moment that we don't is the moment that they're right. And I'm not going to allow that to happen. There are plenty of people out there who privately support what happened and they liked what happened. I deal with them all the time on this show. Yeah, I'm not going to sit there and pretend it's not true. Just like I'm not going to pretend that there's certain people in our party that don't support Vladimir Putin. Oh, we don't support Putin. Well, you don't call them out, and that's the same thing. Let me ask you a question. What happened in Nazi Germany? Do you think when Poland literally could smell when the winds changed all the Jews who hadn't showered in over a year? The rotting corpses and the burning incinerators and the crematoriums that the Polish people who were baking bread and baking sweet treats and going to plays at night in the richer quarters of Poland, they didn't know? They didn't know what happened, huh? Yeah, they knew. But because they denied it and because they didn't acknowledge it, it was okay. Well, guess what? A lot of those people, including mayors and legislators, went to prison because they were complicit. They were accessories. They knew what was going on, and they did nothing to stop it. And I'm not going to be one of those people. I can, out of both sides of the mouth here, talk about J6 and also talk about the atrocities of the Democratic Party. And I've got no problem doing that. I will call out Republicans when they deserve it. But I'm not going to sit here and ignore a certain piece of it to appease people. That's the difference between Benny and I.
Well, that's integrity, Matt. That's the point. That's the difference between somebody who's not willing to call out their party when they know that they're doing wrong, and one who is willing to kind of step over that line and say, no, look, what Trump said here or what whoever did here was wrong. If you're able to do that, right, that means that there's some level of integrity still kind of instilled in us, right? But rarely do we see that on the left. They always just dodge it, morally deflect it somehow, lie about it.
Oh, yeah. Here we go. Russia is fighting Nazis in Ukraine. Okay. Yeah, I've addressed the Azov battalion. And for you to sit here and say that, why don't you put the caveat on that? Give me a percentage of the amount of Nazis Russia's fighting. Could you do that for me? Give me a percentage of the 300,000 that have been killed. How many of them were Nazis? Will you do me that, love? Thanks. Do me that big favor. And if you're going to sit here and tell me that 300,000 Nazis died from Russia's hand, yeah, you're going to have to provide some evidence of that. And it's certainly not a few talismans from the Third Reich where even American groups wear things that are a little questionable. In Vietnam, I don't know if you know this, but the Iron Star was on a lot of military paraphernalia, the Iron Cross. Mm-hmm. And you can look at certain groups that use the skeletons from the SS in their insignias for their military groups. In fact, I can even mention a SEAL team in the last 15 years that uses a symbol that was used by Germans. I'm not sitting here and saying that there weren't people who emulated Nazi sympathizers and emulated Nazi beliefs in Ukraine, because we understand that that's happened all over the world, including South America and Buenos Aires, where more Nazis fled than anywhere else. And we know that their influence was spread out into South American policies. We know this. And yes, Ukraine housed a bunch of Nazis fled into Ukraine. But to sit here and say that the Third Reich had reestablished itself and Nazis 2.0 were in Ukraine and that's what Vladimir Putin is fighting is extremely disingenuous and also extremely false. Now, if you would have watched my show last night, I already made that case. And I walked you through a timeline of all the stories and all the bullshit because we heard that, and you're talking to an intel person, two positions to my right, that will tell you that in 2001 and 1999, we heard the same stories about Crimea. We heard the same stories in Syria. We heard the same stories in Bosnia-Herzegovina. And this isn't the first time. They've been saying these stories since 2014. And the bioweapon labs bullshit, that's been going on since 2006. But it wasn't Ukraine. It was Syria. It was Bosnia-Herzegovina. It was Crimea. And I know because I ran the message traffic and the theater of operations and counterintelligence in that area was my AOR. And that shit was going on previously from 9/11, 1998. And it's just really funny that it just so happened Vladimir Putin took over and became the de facto president of Russia during that time. Something you may not know, who happened to be a disinformation specialist, who worked in the Spetsnaz assassination camps, who was KGB/Politburo through and through, and ran disinformation for Russian intelligence. There's a lot of things that you obviously don't know about Vladimir Putin. And for anyone to sit here and try to make it that he's a good guy, doesn't know anything about Russian history, current or past. But he went on Tucker Carlson, so that answers everything. Hey, question from TD Paul. TD says, today's news states Biden's poll position, what is this, the Formula One? It's NASCAR, has risen sudden. Why? Well, it's 7 days posthumous from the State of the Union, and the new polls are out. And therefore, he received a bump. Every president receives a bump in the State of the Union. Very few have not. think Jimmy Carter was one of the only presidents who didn't receive a bump in the State of the Union. So he's going to get a bump.
I would also add to that. There's been several major headlines in the last 2 months, either him visiting the border or him visiting Palestine, Ohio. The constant. I've been saying this for 3 years now, that Democrats would use abortion in the headlines just constantly. Like, you're going to get bombarded with that. I think all of those things combined with the State of the Union have really helped to kind of bump up those numbers.
Yeah, and listen, it's a modest bump. The real numbers that's the national polls. Let's look at the demographics of women, of men, of blacks, Hispanics, white, college educated, non-college educated, male and female. Those are the numbers that really matter. Steve says, why are we funding Ukraine? To cover up Project Paperclip. Okay, let me explain something to you about code words for operations in the United States and our government. The reason why you use a code word, if this was about administrative type things like money laundering and covering up and banking and blue collar stuff, you wouldn't name it Operation Paperclip, because the code word then denounces exactly what you're trying to do and it lets the enemy know. They would call it Project Hummingbird.
Right.
You wouldn't call it Project Paperclip, okay? The reason why it's called Project Paperclip is because the Qers and the idiots who believe them thought that it sounded cool and could tie some sinew to corruption and money laundering. But trust me when I say this, it would be called Operation Tangerine before it would be called Operation Paperclip. In all your times working in SCI, of all your times working with code word operations or classified material, have you ever heard a code word that aligns exactly with the operation, Leroy?
No.
It's not just no, it's hell no. Like
No.
Operation
None of them make sense.
Operation Hemingway is what it'd be called. Because usually what it does is it goes off the phonetic alphabet, like the way they name storms. And it has nothing to do. They have a series of code words that they use and then assign it to the piece of classification. There is no rhyme and reason.
Back in this is a great example too. Back in 2012, when it was discovered that under the Obama administration, the government was allowing a certain number of guns to get into Mexico, for whatever reason, they called that one Operation Fast and Furious. Like,
right?
What's the point? There's no link there whatsoever.
Yeah. Yeah. What are they doing? Stealing DVDs out of the back of the... here's another one. Okay, how about Operation Neptune Spear? Do you think Osama bin Laden's code name was Neptune? No, it wasn't. It was OBL. And in all traffic, it was OBL. So it wasn't Neptune. So OBL Spear would work. Sounds like a Stay Fresh maxi pad or something.
Yeah.
Sounds like a douche. I usually use Tampax, but this time I'm going to use OB Spear because I needed to get all the way up in there for my freshness. No, that's not the way it works. Sorry. Those of you who used OB in the 90s.
How many hard targets were actually associated with either a color and then some wacky word? You know, it's like, I'd love to be the guy that actually comes up with some of those code names sometimes. It'd be fun. NATO names too. Like who the hell thought of like the Felon, the Su-57 Felon, or the Fulcrum, or the Fox? Like,
yeah,
that'd be a cool job to have. Like, just give me a thesaurus. I'm gonna have fun.
Yeah, it's like with Joy Reid, Operation Boner Retrieval. See that they wouldn't call it that. It would be something completely ludicrous, like Operation Straw Hat
Insertion,
right? Or Straw Hat Toupee. Straw Hat Toupee would be very well. That would actually align with Joe Reid too. Okay, you make me happy. I think I got that somewhere. Do you have it somewhere?
No, you never gave it to me.
What do you? Well, I gave it to you. I'm pretty
Just
sure.
Not that clip.
I think I gave. I thought I did.
I don't think you did. Let me look.
All right. So here's a question. Roxanne asked me to ask this. And then Leroy, last military question. Matt, you told me to remind you tonight about your opinion on the Marines going to Haiti. I'm going to leave that to you, Leroy. You have absolutely nothing to do with that whatsoever, so I know you can talk about it. Your thoughts about bullshit. You have, unless the Marine Corps intelligence units aren't doing their job, well, why the fuck do they even go to Nimitz if they don't do anything still? What does
Honestly,
what does Marine Intel do? Can you educate me on what Marine Intel does?
I've never actually even met any. Take
I
that
have.
back. I've worked with one E7 who was in Intel, and literally it was like they could write out their reports on the green crayons that they were eating.
And that we all went to A school and C school with them. But
Yeah.
I've never seen one in the field. I've never seen one ever.
Yeah.
You know,
No.
it's amazing. All right. But can you talk about this at all?
Well, I can because I don't know anything legitimately. It's not something I've been tracking.
How do you feel about Marines being used in Haiti? Where you have a complete, well, okay. So in Haiti, here's what I will say about Marines in Haiti. Is I think the closer we get to home, that humanitarian missions can be handled by the U.S. military more effectively than American-based reactionary units like FEMA or the Red Cross or anything else to that effect. Specifically, you put the Marines versus the Army or a National Guard unit because of their fighting prowess, and you put the Marines there in case things go haywire. So when you ask me what do I think from a tactical position, it makes sense. Because if they need to go heavy and hot and go green on these situations in Haiti, the United States Marine Corps is ready to go and are locked, cocked, and ready to rock.
I will say this.
Well, I
for
wasn't
everyone,
done. I wasn't.
I'm
For
sorry.
someone who had nothing to say, I wasn't done yet. So, okay, now you can go. Now you can go.
I was just going to say that if anybody
Passive
remembers,
aggressive much? Oh goodness, dear.
if anybody remembers Grenada, to Matt's point, the Marines are an excellent resource for something that is local in nature. So,
First of all, take a sniff, pull it out. It was take a sniff, pop it out. The taste is going to hit you when you pop it in your mouth. No. Take a sniff,
the hell we
pull it
talking about?
out. The taste is going to move you when you pop it in your mouth.
That Irish
Juicy fruit. Shut up. I'm singing. Shut up. I don't want to sing it again. Let me finish. Juicy
Swear to
fruit.
God, I thought he...
Got
He's
Son
singing
of a
about the Irish
bitch.
chick again.
Do you know how hard it is to sing a Juicy Fruit commercial from 1980 and remember it? And you guys are going to interrupt me?
And twins. I'm thinking about
Bud
the
Light. That's not Juicy Fruit. Amy has it wrong. She said it was double mint gum. No, it was not double mint gum. It's Juicy Fruit. Take a sniff, pull it out. The taste is going to move you when you pop it in your mouth.
Never
Is
heard
Juicy
that
Fruit.
one.
It doesn't
Neither
matter
have
whether
I.
you've heard it. Well, you certainly haven't heard because you won't let me sing it without interrupting me.
Well, if that's how it originally sounded, there's no reason they're going bankrupt,
There's no comedic gold left anymore. I don't know this. Have you ever had Juicy Fruit that's expired? Oh my God, it's like eating a piece of wax.
They all were.
No, this one was bad. It was delicious though, but it didn't last. It lasted for like 10 seconds, but it was so good. I mean, there's no, you just eat it, spit it out, put another one in because it was so good. Here's the commercial. Listen, you'll know it.
Get your skis shined up, grab a stick of juicy fruit. The taste
is gonna move ya.
Take a sniff, pull it
Pull it
out.
out. The taste is gonna move you when you put it in your mouth. Juicy fruit, gonna move ya. Gets it wrong, that gets right to ya. Juicy fruit, the taste is gonna move ya.
I do remember that.
Thank you very much, man. Seriously, do you know? Listen, like a mental trap, folks. Double mint was not that. It was double your pleasure with double mint gum. See,
They always had twins. They always had twins.
That's where Olivia got the twins from. Yeah. I can't keep doing this for you folks. I can't keep dispelling all this QAnon stuff. Okay. Now I got to play a double mint commercial.
A double pleasure's waiting for you. A double pleasure from Double Mint Gum. A double great feeling, making you realize double is the one for you. Double fresh, double smooth, double delicious to chew. A double pleasure is waiting for you. Double Mint Gum.
The sexual innuendo. Dude,
The
sexual
hair on those guys, my goodness.
I know the sexual innuendo in that commercial. Oh shit, wrong slide. Wrong slide, Clyde. The sexual innuendo, double your pleasure with Double McGum with a pair of twins.
Yeah.
So Amy Stamkomb, get it right. Seriously, get it right. Juicy fruit. All right. That was completely obnoxious and horrible. Let's get to the next one. This one might be a little bit more up Olivia's alley, and we're sorry we went into the military. I haven't seen Leroy in a couple days, or a couple weeks, so it's nice to see him when he actually shows up.
Sorry, Bubba.
It's okay, Bubba. Mike Pence. Liv, I want you to go first. Let's listen to it. Mike Pence has officially said he's not going to support Donald Trump. Wow. Shocker. Shocker. I thought the gallows would have convinced him at the last minute to show up as Donald Trump called him a traitor. When people call me, why isn't he like Ted Cruz? Why isn't he like Lindsey Graham and little Marco Rubio and bend over for Donald Trump after he insults their family, their wives? Come on. Wow, you tell me Mike Pence has some scruples left? Can't believe that. Let's watch it.
Well, Martha, I appreciate the question. And it should come as no
Martha, my mama's named Martha too.
that I will not be endorsing Donald Trump this year. Look, I'm incredibly proud of the record of our administration. It was a conservative record that made America more prosperous, more secure, and saw conservatives appointed to our course in a more peaceful world. But that being said, during my presidential campaign, I made it clear that there were profound differences between me and President Trump on a range of issues. And not just our difference on my constitutional duties that I exercised on January the 6th. I mean, as I have watched his candidacy unfold, I've seen him walking away from our commitment to confronting the national debt. I've seen him starting to shy away from a commitment to the sanctity of human life. And this last week, his reversal on getting tough on China and supporting our administration's effort to force a sale of ByteDance TikTok.
Why do you think he did that? Why do you think he had that reversal on that before we go, sir?
Well, I can't speculate on it, but what I can tell you is that in each of these cases, Donald Trump is pursuing and articulating an agenda that is at odds with the conservative agenda that we governed on during our 4 years. And that's why I cannot, in good conscience, endorse Donald Trump in this campaign. But let me...
Two things before I turn it over to Olivia. One is I can't, going back to Destiny's Child, my first thought is I always love it when atheists try to school Christians on how to be Christian. It's always fantastic. I always love that. I always love to be told by a person who doesn't believe in God how to believe in God. Thank you. I always love that. Would Jesus do that? Well, first of all, why don't you specifically tell me which chapters and which areas of the Bible you're referring to?
It's like someone who's not a parent telling you how to parent your children.
Right. God, we had enough of that, didn't we, Liv? Well, Liv, what do you think of this Mike Pence BS? How do you feel? You and I both had some positive things about Mike Pence. We liked the way he debated. We thought it was great the way he stuck up for Trump and COVID. What do you think of Mike Pence now?
The first thing I thought of when I saw that was it should be President Trump and I, not me and President Trump. And that's one of the first things I thought of.
That's a good
point.
point.
And then I started thinking of waiting and the hooker and I. That's where,
the hooker and I.
That's where my brain went.
Are having unprotected sex and intravenous drug use.
Yeah. That's
doing
so
that's not. Yeah. It's not, and it's not just that, Liv. It's a really good point, but there's also it's a double entendre, I guess, in the sense that, yes, grammatically it's incorrect, but also you worked for the president, and it is never you before the president. It's never Donald Trump and I. It's the administration and Donald Trump's vision for America I supported. That should remain. You were a vice president of the United States. You should hold that no matter what your personal grievances are with Donald Trump. Anything else, Livy?
To be honest, I don't think he holds that much weight now, and his endorsement or non-endorsement is going to affect anything.
Yeah.
In my opinion.
Yeah, I agree. Okay. So here comes all the Q stuff. Pence is a pedophile. Okay. Listen, folks. Mike Pence, whether you like him or not, hands down was probably the most loyal vice president Donald Trump or any other president has ever had. He slayed in the debates. He kicked the living crap out of Tim Kaine from Virginia. He demolished Kamala Harris. He was up there for COVID. He took shots. He defended him with the pussy comments. He defended him with the reporter comments. He brought the Christian right to Donald Trump after they had fled him after those comments. And Mike Pence never spoke ill, never even hinted. Everything that Donald Trump said, Mike Pence lockstep behind him. And honestly, I have read the Constitution probably more times than I don't need to brag. I read the Constitution. Leroy reads the Constitution. There is nothing. There is absolutely nothing that says that Mike Pence, the vice president, has authority to overturn the state electoral vote. Those are sealed long before it reaches Mike Pence. Now, without a certain qualification of states that are in confliction or that cannot actually affirm and they are contesting, that is the only time that he will count the votes. And then if that number is encroached upon, send it back to the states. But without that, he can't move Ward 1. Now, some people are saying that he is a criminal, that he is treasonous. Okay. Donald Trump called him a traitor when he would not decertify the state electoral votes. To me, I don't care who you are. President of the United States, my mom, you call me a traitor, you and I are going to have some problems. I think that Mike Pence did everything he should have done as a VP up until the point and after when he took everything, and he should have because they threatened to kill him. They create, and if you're going to tell me they didn't have gallows out there, you're wrong. Because of the construction of that, we drove by that, and they do have it there, and they did have it there. And I don't care how did they smuggle it in, how did they build it. I don't give a shit. If you're Mike Pence and you see that these are the people who are supposedly supporting you and Donald Trump, and they are threatening to hang you from a freaking a makeshift gallows, and he's calling you a traitor. And treason is punishable by death. Yeah, I think I'm going to be a little bit sore. Donald Trump does what Donald Trump does often, which is not necessarily stand behind people who don't do what he says. And you know this, and I know this, and I'm not going to go ahead and justify Mike Pence's behavior after J6 and after they left office because he has been a sanctimonious douche plow. But I will defend his vice presidency. Leroy, Amy, your thoughts.
Amy, your thoughts?
Or, sorry, Olivia, whatever. Hey, you know what? When you work as many fucking hours as I do doing this same mundane shit every single day, you can. When you go ahead and you call Russia China, I don't get upset. I'm sure you've done that. You've done that in a briefing. No, go ahead.
Your mic is really loud.
It's our headphones. His mic isn't loud. No, okay. It's our headphones. I turned it up because I couldn't hear his ass. Go ahead, Leroy.
Got it.
So former Vice President Race Bannon, the way I see this is he's taken it very personal, and he is and what's not to take personal? He was literally, to Matt's point, he was literally called a traitor, and so this is just one of those situations where you have a guy who is quite able to separate policy from the person, i.e. Trump, the personality, which is terrible, versus his policy, which are pretty good. No matter how much inflammatory language Trump wants to use, he has to realize at some point that what he's leaving in his wake is just a string of people that could have been very friendly to him, could have been assets on his side, and in fact he has pushed them away. And that's just the nature of Trump. So I don't find any fault in any way, shape, or form with what Pence had said there. That being said, I also don't see it having any effect at all.
Yeah, and somebody said I think Glenn just decided to go 2 days in a row that I'm riding Leroy. I'm sorry, Glenn. I don't know if you've heard military camaraderie, but Leroy and I are.
I wish I was that lucky.
Yeah, he's not. I'm not riding him, and if anyone, he would ride me, because I would never catch in this relationship.
Or you would ride that Irish.
Leroy is a friend, and we bust balls and joke around. But this is probably one of the more tamer nights of our podcast. We're getting along famously right now. So I don't know what you're talking about. But I will say this: somebody said, and it's interesting, and it says, could he have sent votes back to a recount by the states? Here's the thing: no. Because the federal government has absolutely no say in who the states vote for as president of the United States. Right. They only have a say on how it's done. And by the way, I made a 17 or 26-minute video that you can find on YouTube. Everyone remembers it. And it is the most boring, slide-inducing bullshit ever. But it will walk you through the entire process of how the states vote and collect the electoral decisions and how those are processed at the federal level. And it walks through the whole 97-day process. And let me tell you something, it is boring as shit. But there are multiple redundancies and multiple checks. It's not each county and each state have to verify 3 times before sending in finalized, and that's not on election day. Once those votes are sent in, it has to reach the Capitol, and then there is a recount done individually per county and per district. Then it bubbles up to the overall state sections based upon state legislature. Then it breaks down to Senate level. Then the governor has to sign off on that, and the mayors sign off on that. And then the electoral has to sign off on that, and then it's sent in. There is no way, shape, or form, even though there were 2 states that supposedly put in articles of contention and went ahead and challenged that with the overall delegate count. We know what happened, and we saw those court cases. Donald Trump he's going to get in trouble for those. If Donald Trump is tied to those things, that's fraud. And you can't do that. And everyone's like, oh, well, the state has the right to go ahead and pick its electors. Yes, the state has a right to pick its electors. And even some of those electors don't vote for the president and what the states asked for. Look at Hillary Clinton and Donald Trump. Donald Trump's presidency in 2016, there was something like, I don't know, like 27 who voted for Hillary Clinton, even though they were supposed to vote for Trump. This happens all the time, but most of these state electors do not come in with an undecided vote, and they solidify what their state says. Mike Pence has no authority. He is simply a headpiece to go ahead and count through pomp and circumstance, and he is simply there as a, what's it called? For dramatic, it's not dramatic effect, but he's there as a showpiece. Come on. Someone help me out.
Show pony.
Headpiece?
No, not a headpiece. It's a ceremonial position. That's all it is. It's not designed. He's not to adjudicate. He doesn't even have that power. He's in the executive branch, for God's sakes. So he can't decide if something is constitutional or unconstitutional. That's not his job. He enforces the law.
How is
so
it
he is
right?
there. He is there to enforce and ensure that the process takes place, not challenge the process. Wrong branch. Go ahead, Liv.
How is that right that an electoral should have, it was Donald Trump won that district, but that electoral person voted for the wrong person? How is that legal?
It's not legal, but it's not illegal at the same time, because those states will then go ahead and, if there's not enough to contest, some people will do what is known as a stand. It's like a stand against or a standout vote. So if their vote impedes the overall state results, those people can be held to an account. And what it will do is it will stop the election process. This is, if you remember, in 2016, this is why the celebrities put out the video, and they said,
I didn't even know that.
Yeah, they said to all the delegates, which part?
What you just said. I didn't know about the standout vote thing.
Yeah, so 2016, votes went to Hillary Clinton. And the reason why is the celebrities put out a video. Here, I'll show it to you. I did a video on this. And they asked the delegates to not vote for Hillary Clinton. They said, don't vote for Hillary Clinton. Just don't vote and certify Donald Trump. And this is, you want to talk about treason. You want to talk about insurrection. This is the very definition of it. Celebrity, commercial. Oh yeah, you guys. I did video. You guys need to watch my show more. Obviously, jeez Louise, Mary's Harry. Got a new pew pew. A whole bunch of money that ain't worth the shit. Okay, skip this ad.
Joining me now is Mike Farrell, one of the actors you saw in that video, best known for his portrayal.
Use Chrome.
Hold on. I gotta find the right video. Where is it? Come on. Okay. Copy. Thanks, Liv, for telling me.
You're welcome.
Thanks, Liv.
I wish I could have done it in an Irish accent. Sorry.
It's okay. You'll have a chance to redeem yourself tonight. For shizzle. Loading ad. Okay.
Matt shows you his shillelagh.
Oh, what?
It'd be like Sherpa. My haggis. My stomach stuffed with sheep's stomach stuffed with meat and barley.
You big
Okay.
actor.
My big grand
Take
geek.
care of me,
All right, shut up. Listen.
Of
Shut up.
Captain BJ Honeycutt in MASH. Good morning, Mike.
Good morning.
This ad that you've put out there, it's not for the general public. It is directed at hardcore Republican electors. Why do you believe, listening to yourself, Moby, the actors from Will and Grace, Martin Sheen, why do you believe it'll resonate with them?
Well, one never knows if anything is going to resonate with them, but one hopes. You know, this is sort of the court of last resort. And I believe that electors are people. You know, they're not just robots. They should have the opportunity to think and, I think, follow the press and see what's happening. They were Republican electors. That didn't necessarily mean they were Trump electors. So the possibility exists that they have an understanding that they have a job to do that arguably gives them some freedom to make a choice. We're not asking them, as the ad says, to vote for Hillary Clinton. We would love to see them vote for John Kasich, for example, who's a Republican who ran for the presidency and is a man of some decency and intelligence and experience, unlike the man who is their nominee.
Many of the people who voted for Donald Trump were simply saying they want change. They felt disconnected from Washington. The fact that Hillary Clinton did have such a star-studded campaign the night she had Jay-Z and Beyonce perform, Donald Trump had a very impactful speech where he said to his audience, I don't have J-Lo or Jay-Z, I've got you and you've got me.
And to be facing citizens.
Okay. So what they did is they put out an ad.
I remember this.
Yep. And this ad simply said, hey, change your electoral vote. Now, that's a protest vote. And this rule has now been changed. Now, a lot of people are like, if the Democrats didn't want to do it, why'd they change it? Well, they didn't want them doing it in 2020 after when Donald Trump was going to run in 2024 by doing this protest vote again and having the electors change their vote. And those are the states leaning on people. So they changed that rule. But this was always known as a protest vote. That the electors didn't have to vote what their state representatives said. And what they would do is it certainly wouldn't all of a sudden nominate Hillary Clinton if they didn't vote. What it would do is it would send the votes back to the state to be certified, which would hold up the electoral process. And more than in a very short order, once they opened up the seal, the state representatives, the government and the state officials and the elector officials of that state would then recertify the votes and they would simply replace the elector. That's what would have happened. But it would have delayed the vote of Donald Trump if everyone would have done it. Hey, caller, where are you from and what's up? What's up, Kev? Thanks for calling when Olivia's here.
I hear nothing.
No,
wait,
never.
Wait. I gotta get your audio in. You can't hear him?
No, I couldn't hear him.
Okay, hold on.
We can hear you.
Hold on. Okay, guys. Hold on a second, please. How am I gonna get? Okay, say something. Leroy, no? Okay,
Yeah.
we're gonna have to test.
Yeah,
Wait, you can?
Cannot.
Okay, hold on. This is what I was afraid of. Let me just check my audio settings. Hold on. Hold on, Kev. All right, so there's that. And then, okay, Skype is going to cause noise cancellation. Okay, Kev, can you hear me? Say something.
Yes. Yep.
Leroy,
There you
can
go.
Okay, now I need to know, can everyone else hear him? Kev, say something.
Hello, Leroy.
Okay.
How you
Hold
doing?
on. Let's wait for the chat to catch up. It's got a 15-second delay. And let's see if we can hear him.
Is that in case we swear?
So,
No.
Leroy,
No, it's a connection issue of them literally taking gigabytes of information and transferring
Yes,
it into.
they can hear him.
Thanks for interrupting.
Sorry.
It's gigabytes of information, and it happens all the time, though. I mean, I don't understand. It's like we're watching a movie or something.
I don't talk much.
I'm going to answer
so.
this. No, it's not that. It's just when you talk. It's not that you talk. It's shut up, Kevin. So it's not that you talk. It's when you talk. All right, Kev, what do you want to talk about?
if I hang up and call back, could that correct the problem?
It's already been fixed, Kevin. And if you had shut up and pay attention, you'd know that, Kevin.
Just trying to help.
I know you are. We love you. What do you want?
No, I have a person in chat on Rumble that said he would gladly call in if somebody else would go first, and I'm wondering if he has the nads.
Oh, what is this guy doing? What's he saying?
Well, he's kind of saying things that about people on the show that they can't answer because they're not part of the Rumble chat.
Oh.
So I don't want to call out anything specific. I just want him to hear somebody call in and see him have a civil conversation.
Yeah, Olivia, do you see this chat, or do we know?
Yes, I do.
Well, why don't you tell me what's going on? This is juicy stuff.
Well, he called you dumb when you first started talking about the electoral. I know.
Oh, he called me dumb?
I know. But he
It's
thinks
only
you're
the name of the show.
Exactly. He thinks you're very, very wrong on when you were explaining the electoral.
Okay,
votes.
then call.
And
then call in and educate me.
We asked him to call, and he said he wouldn't because he was a little nervous. And he said if somebody else calls in first, he would.
Well,
So
then, okay, then let's do it this way. Kev, you help with this. Why don't you go ahead and make your point of contention of how I'm wrong about the Electoral College and explain to me in which article states that Mike Pence can overturn the state results? Please let me know. Because I'm interested to here, Rumble guy caller who won't call. Let me just go ahead and pose a question to you. Instead of you telling me, because I already know, hold on, I'm not done. This can't happen. When I'm doing this, we got to shush. Okay, thanks. Caller, here's my question. When the Constitution was written and the institution of the Electoral College was not done at the same time, the whole premise of creating an electoral college was not to have the same states and the electorate vote for the president individually, that it would be all states having an equal vote based upon the population. That's fair. Okay, great. They wanted to ensure that even though it was a federal position, that the states, according to the 10th Amendment, still had the right to make that vote, but do it based on population, knowing that the western side and the eastern side and the southern, right around Texas with Harbor, would ultimately have more population there because that's where the business and the throughfare and imports and exports would take place, is on the sides of the country that were connected to water. Great. So we know that. So let me ask you a question. Why do you think a government that writes an entire Bill of Rights, that writes amendments to ensure that the powers, the 10th Amendment, as in the Bill of Rights, that the powers go back to the states, why would those founding fathers and the people who came after them give the freedom to the states and all the people in this land to ensure that the federal government would never become kings, that the federal government would never become tyrannical? Why would they ensure that the vice president of the United States of America held the power within his hand to ensure that he could elect a king even after they lost? Please explain that to me, and I will go ahead and bow down and kiss your pucker. But until then, you're wrong. Okay?
In my brand new Constitution, pocket Constitution, if everyone would flip open to roughly Section 2, it'll explain in there.
Can we touch constitutions real quick? Can we dock our constitutions together?
Twin powers,
Oh,
activate.
you guys are turning me on over here. I'm getting all hot and bothered.
I don't need to read Article 2. It's the same argument about the Second Amendment. Why would the federal government, who just empowered its people to protect itself from a tyrannical government, go ahead and limit the Second Amendment to only a well-regulated government militia. It's the same argument. Please answer my question. Why would they write an entire declaration against monarchy and theological overrule and government and tyrannical government, and then usurp the power from the people and instill it upon the vice president to ensure that they elect a king? And only one man would have that much power. If you could explain that to me, I'll go ahead and I will stop. What did he say, Kevin?
Me? I'm not part of this argument.
No, what did he say? What did Rumble?
He's just Rumble saying, "Oh, thanks, Matt. The system is corrupt." Am I right? It was a setup. It was set up corrupt to make sure that they keep control. If they wanted to, if it was set up to keep control, then the vice president would have the power to remain in power and overturn an election. If a president or vice president can overturn the election and deny the new president from coming in, that would be corrupt. Nobody would ever get voted in again until they decided they wanted to leave office, because they could just overturn the election at whim. I understand that.
There are lines of delineation to this, that when we became a trophy entitled generation where everybody had to win, that all of a sudden elections were corrupt and they weren't right for America. But they stood for hundreds of years. And then all of a sudden, when this new trophy generation came out, people didn't want to admit that they lost. And people were afraid to say, hey, I lost the election. I don't appreciate it when Stacey Abrams did it. I don't like it when Kari Lake did it. You had a choice. You went to court. You had your appeal process. You lost your ass. You lost. I don't care how. I've already explained how. I've already told you guys how. I've already done it a million times, and I'm not going to do it again. But this whole thing, that this was this giant clandestine operation to steal the election, they did it in broad daylight and they used the courts to do it. And if you would just actually research this and stop thinking that you know the answer and start looking for the answer, I am one of the only ones that have said it. And it's amazing that all these talking heads are starting to come my way and using the word unconstitutional versus stolen. It's always funny how people start listening to my show, it seems. God, I wonder where they get all their ideas. I wonder. I'm the only one for 3 years.
I watched that happen in real time.
Yeah.
Because I've been watching the show for, a little over a year or so. And I remember, and I didn't agree with you. I have my
Nobody
own.
did.
I had my own suspicions that I couldn't base on fact. So I'm not going to argue with somebody when all I have is a gut feeling.
Correct. Roxanne,
you understand?
There's a correct. Yeah, I understand.
What you were saying was a cold, hard fact. This is a cold, hard fact, and this was well known at the time, that Pennsylvania had judges change election laws.
And Wisconsin.
To me, personally,
and Michigan.
That is no. Judges are not there to create laws. They're there to interpret them.
That's right.
So to me,
state
that's a direct
legislature
violation right there.
Yes, it is. And state legislature has to amend. Hold on. They have to amend the Constitution, and that's not what they did. They didn't amend the Constitution. They made emergency provisions with COVID powers. What they did wasn't illegal. What they did has had no precedent before. That's why the Supreme Court needs to hear this. The Supreme Court needs to stop the mail-in ballot process. The Supreme Court needs to stop, but they're not going to. But the good news is that unless there's a major pandemic, we're in a situation where they're going to lose 20 million votes. The Democrats need to open up their mind right now and realize, and they're scared shitless, they're going to lose 20 million votes this election cycle because they're not going to be randomly mailed out to these blue counties. And that is a huge deficit that helps Donald Trump. The more votes you can narrow from the mail-in ballot pool, which predominantly went to Biden, is just going to help Trump. There are a lot of cards stacked that I haven't even went into because I don't even have the preliminary numbers of the registries. Once I have that, I can pretty much tell you exactly what's going to happen and which states are going to go where, like I did in 2016 and I did in 2020. I did in 2022. I did for any of the emergency elections in 2023, and I did for 2024. It's not going to be that hard, but he's going to lose 20 million possible votes. It's going to hurt Trump too, but it's going to hurt Biden more. So let's just see where the dust settles, because it's going to come back to 2016. And honestly, the numbers are going to be lower than 2016 because the overall energy for turnout is even lower than 2016.
Can I ask you a question?
12 inches.
And it's a personal question.
12 inches.
In 2016, how many votes did Trump get in total? It wasn't the 76 million.
Oh no,
that
it
he
wasn't
got
even.
in
It wasn't even close.
So
It wasn't.
the gain in votes between 2016 and 2020. Do you credit most of that to mail-in ballots?
Yes, I credit all of it to mail-in ballots, and obviously that
simple
people.
question.
Yes, and I say yes, I credit most of it to mail-in ballots, but I also give it a lot of credit that people were sitting at home and people were watching TV and people went ahead and filled out things and they had unsolicited ballots. That's the key of what makes it unconstitutional, is that these people were not necessarily registered to vote. They sent it out to previous mail lists. They sent it out to people who do not have a chance to re-register or register after they moved. That's an unsolicited ballot. You can't do that, and that's what they did.
I can tell you as a fact, a girlfriend of mine got 8 mail-in ballots sent to her house, all of which had different addresses on them.
That doesn't matter.
So it's like this whole what it does say, the whole process was, I don't want to curse. It was messed up.
Okay, let me answer your question. Let me ask you a question. First of all, every single one of those mail-in ballots has a skew on the side of that, which is scanned and has to be counted physically in an election center. You could have 20 of those things. It will not count 20 of them. It will not make that mistake. They're all serialized. And the best way I can describe it is when you use a gift card, you don't get to use that gift card 5 minutes later. It's done. It's over. They have the same checks and balances when it comes to vote. Every single ballot, whether it's mail-in, whether it's absentee, or whether it's day of electronically, has to be printed out, certified, and scanned in every single state. That is one non-negotiable. Every state does it. Now, to answer your question,
this is in the state of New Jersey.
It's in the state of everywhere.
Each of these 8 ballots had a different name and a different address.
Okay, I don't know. I can't answer that question.
They were all mailed to one address. They were all delivered, not mailed. They were delivered to one address.
That is what I tried to tell you.
My point is, if the Postal Service is screwing up like that, that screws up.
They're not screwing up. They're not screwing up, Kev. Listen to what I just said. Will you listen to me? The reason why these ballots were sent out and the reason why multiple redundancies were sent out is because the election records were dated backwards in many states in order to compensate for DMV waits and any registration in polls, and that people could not go out and register. There was a 6-month wait at the DMV, don't you remember? So people couldn't register. So what they did is they backdated these addresses that had moved into state and hadn't registered and gave them a presumptive registration and sent them a ballot to fill out. If those people weren't at that address anymore, once you went ahead and dropped that ballot off or mailed it, it would be checked against. And if that ballot was filled out for multiple addresses, it would not be counted. But it was like a fishnet. They were trying to catch as many people who may not have been able to vote so they wouldn't come back and say that this election wasn't valid because I couldn't get to the DMV. So these are the things that they did. This resulted in almost 20 million extra ballots being sent out. It was actually closer to 50 million, and only 20 million of them were filled out. Let me tell you why. 2016, Donald Trump got 62,985,000, essentially 63 million votes. That was shy of 8 million votes for 2020. Hillary Clinton got 65,853,000, essentially 66 million votes. Now, you add those two together, you're looking at 131 million votes overall. This last election was 151 million. That sticks to the line with what I just said, that 20 million votes will probably not be coming back for 2024. Okay? It's almost like I've done this before. Where's your Rumble guy? What's he saying now?
He's gone. I think he checked out.
Why? Why would he leave?
I just wanted him to call in.
Why would he leave? He has all the
Encouraging him
facts.
to call in.
He said that he's from the
excuse
UK.
was he's overseas.
Oh, no shit that you're fucking English. Oh, blow me, you fucking limey prick. Fucking get. You know what? There's
Just
a reason
so you know,
why. There's a reason why we kicked the shit out of you in 1776 and beyond. So we would never have to listen to you fuckers again. Worry about your own fucking country. Why don't you guys take care of immigration? You guys are completely going to be overthrown, by the way. I hope you enjoy being Muslim, you fucking twat waffle. God, I hate the English.
He's back.
Nah, fuck him. Of course he's from England. You can't be proud of your own parliament, so you go ahead and you start trashing the United States. You don't know shit. You don't know anything about our country. You're gonna try to educate me on our election process, buddy. You better get a freaking ladder and bring your lunch. You're gonna wake up hungry in the hospital. Seriously, get out of here, fucking Rumble people. All right, Kev, did you have anything else you want to talk about before I go enjoy my Friday
just
night?
One mention that Olivia sounds younger on the phone too.
Oh God.
And I haven't heard Leroy. Can Leroy hear me?
Yeah, Leroy.
Yeah, I can hear you.
You can't hear him?
I haven't heard him yet comment.
Oh, well,
Over the
he's
phone. Over the phone.
Well, Kevin.
He's saying you're number one the whole video. He's holding up the number one finger to you. He says you're the best. Kevin, I love you, buddy. You're one of my favorite people of all time. Thanks for calling in, Bubba.
Good. All right.
Love you,
have
buddy.
a good night, guys.
Thanks,
All right,
Kev.
Thanks.
Have a good night, Kevin. Thank you, bud.
And to the Brit or English, whatever one you take offense to. If you identify as a British, I'm going to call you an English. And if you define yourself as English, I'm going to call you a Brit. And if you define as both, I'll just call you Dutch. But anyway, no offense, bud. But, you know, you don't sit here and hear me talking about powder wigs in Parliament for Queen and Country love. And the reason why I won't is because you have a silly system of government, okay? You've got a stand-in fallacy government with some theocratic autocracy that have lines of delineation to Charlemagne. And then you have Parliament, which is more fucked up than the United States. Why are you going to start dropping the rules of Magna Carta on me and telling me how we have to go back to the days of British rule? No, I don't think you will. So Tony Blair is dead. So is Margaret Thatcher.
I never understood the fascination with the form of British rule. I've never understood the fascination with royalty or any of that.
No.
To me, it always sounded so dictatorial,
Yeah.
right? I mean, God.
And listen, I hope you continue to watch. And I'm just playing around, dude. I would love if you called in, and I certainly would not bust your balls like I am. But brother, you know, I'm not going to try to educate you on the rules of football. You know, don't come over here and try to tell me.
Soccer?
Yeah, that's right. Don't come over here. I don't sit here and try to educate you on tea, right? Don't sit here and come over here and talk to me about oral hygiene, okay? I've seen the British. I've seen your teeth. They're fucking blooming just blocus.
Yeah.
You look like Snaggletooth. I'm just kidding. So call in. I'm sure. I mean, if this doesn't convince you how great it will be, I don't know what will. Listen, I've done the election thing a million times. I don't want to do it again. What I do want to do is give the 1 minute around the horn. With 200 and plus people on.
There's a lot of people on right
You know
now.
what? I'm going to extend it.
Yeah.
I'm going to extend it. It's Friday night. I'm feeling all right. We can do one more. I mean, why not?
There's 86 people on Rumble right now.
Do we get an encore? Do we get some applause or something? Can we get people to get out and like the feed?
I need to take a potty break real quick though before we continue.
This was based off the fact that if we spiked 150 people, you know, we said that you would take your shirt off. So
No. Here's the thing. We get a donation. I'll go ahead and stay on. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. This is you got to go to potty break. Go.
Yes.
Okay. This one is actually. I did want to focus on this one time. I'm deciding which one I want to do. Yeah, I'm going to do this because this is Olivia. You need to come back as soon as you're done. So hurry up and pinch it off. A lot of people know that, dude. Every time she gets out of her chair, she forgets to block it. There. Everybody knows that if I have a mentor who doesn't know that they're my mentor, from a writing style and from a vocal style, I am nothing compared to this man. He is my hero. He is a man I would never argue with. Yeah, Leroy. I don't want to spoil it, but dude, it's not you. So it's close. But this guy, in my opinion, I would vote for president because he understands what America needs for success, which is the middle class. And that is, as long as we follow the Constitution, and as long as we protect our borders, and as long as we don't get into these frivolous wars and frivolous spending, all we need to do is protect the middle class and ensure that 96, 97% of the economy is represented and protected 100% of the time, and we will be a successful country. This gentleman, by far, understands this concept. I happen to think that I'm going to tell you. I think his mother is one of the most prolific writers I've ever heard. I would put her against Tennyson and Thoreau. I would put her against Whitman. I'd put her against Shakespeare. I would put her against Soule. I'll put her against Clancy. I'll put her against Asimov and anyone else. She is a genius. As far as this guy, his orating skills, his his narration, his ability to never get frazzled is beyond. Liv, now please, we need you. I'm delaying all I can, and I can't suck this guy off anymore unless Olivia hurries up and sit down. Why?
Hayden is having a conversation.
I don't care. What's Hayden? Is there an emergency?
No.
What's wrong with Hayden? Okay. All right. So I got to have Olivia here because she feels the same way about this guy that I do. With no further ado, I want you to listen to this. Thanks, Liv. I want you to listen to this. Hurry up, Liv.
I'm hurrying.
I want you
I'm hurrying. I'm trying.
God, you're hot.
I know.
Seriously, the hair to the side. Really? That's really what you're doing to me? God.
Better if I had an Irish accent. Huh?
She was done peeing, Carol. She was long done peeing. She's a woman. She sits down and it's done.
To Hayden.
She's out there having a conversation with a cat and Hayden. All right. Watch this video. We're going to do one more. This is surprising, shocking, and a little scary.
I knew it. I fucking knew it.
Hold on.
I can't hear it.
I know. That's why I said hold on. God.
I knew it. I called that. Damn, I'm good.
Everyone knows, or should know, that he's my favorite. All right.
And he's very smart. And he's very...
God, son of a bitch. Don't say Liv. I don't need it right now.
God, he's got a sexy voice.
It's not now, Liv. Seriously, I'm asking you nice. Don't need the mocking stuff right now. I'm having a hard enough time. Thank you. You're the reason why it's not working. You want to sit down and actually I'm going to the same camera. Should I? Okay, here we go. So Mike Rowe has been asked to be vice president for RFK, or at least the beginning of the conversation. Here it is.
Well, he's very gracious, and he's very smart, and he's very direct. And I had no idea what I was really walking into, but his team was there, and they were also super inquisitive. They listened more than they talked. I wound up interviewing him. He interviewed me. We had a few laughs. It was a very friendly, very casual conversation, but he's serious. And when he talks about the things he's serious about, he leans in, and it's hard not to listen. He's serious about the debt. He doesn't want to see 34 trillion get to 50. He believes if it does, the country can't service it. Party's over. He's serious about ending forever wars. He's serious about waging a war, really, on chronic disease and diabetes and things like that. We don't agree on everything, that's for sure. And when that became apparent, he just laughed and said, look, I don't want to surround myself with yes men and yes women. I want people who care about the country. I want people who will tell me the truth as they see it and let the chips fall. He said a lot of stuff that was good to hear, frankly.
So when you talk about things you didn't agree with him on, is there anything you can be specific on? And did he bring up things that, as you know, Mike, have been controversial? You talk about his care for health, for example. Vaccines. Did topics like that come up directly?
Her dress has shoulder pads.
Not really, because that stuff has been so talked to death in the media that everybody kind of knows, all right, this is the wrap. Is there anything you want to say about it specifically? Honestly, Aaron, yeah, we did talk about some of that stuff, and I don't know that it's fair for me to really walk you through it chapter and verse. I told him, for instance, look, I'm friendly with a lot of people in the fossil fuel business. That's not a secret. My foundation is supported by all sorts of people who he's sued in the past. Ouch. We laughed about that and just kept coming back to, look, we're living in an extraordinary time. The headlines have never been like this. The things that we seem to agree on, we appear to agree on with a certain amount of passion. And then it just became personal, to tell you the truth. Look, I've been doing this foundation for 16 years. At base, it's a PR campaign. At base, it's an attempt to raise awareness around a couple of things that matter to me a lot. And he was very upfront about it. He said, look, Mike, that topic, education, middle class, vocational development and workforce and so forth, that's the pointy part of the spear in my campaign. It matters. And if you want to see your foundation go from micro works to macro works, I think he said, then you should think about this. You should at least consider it. And so I did.
And consider it, you mean consider the VP slot?
Sure.
So I want to ask you one thing here as you talk about the seriousness with which RFK Jr. is taking the decision that he has to make and his campaign and the people around him. On his list, you mentioned a sports star. That, of course, is the NFL quarterback Aaron Rodgers. And I don't know if you know this, but Rodgers told two people, and one of those people is CNN's Pamela Brown. He told them about
Now, I have not watched this, and I want you to watch how Mike Rowe navigates this question. This is a gotcha question. She's trying to ensure that they get it in that RFK now and Aaron Rodgers and also Mike Rowe believe that Sandy Hook was a red flag, false flag. I want you to listen at how he navigates. I know Mike Rowe so well that I don't even need to play it to know what he's going to say. This is what happens when you have a hero, and I would classify Mike Rowe as my hero. Here it is.
conspiracy theories about the 2012 shooting at Sandy Hook Elementary, including saying the shooting was a government inside job, that victims' families were crisis actors. Do you believe that that is a serious point of view? Is that somebody that should be on a Kennedy ticket?
I have no idea. I think that
it's masterful.
I think he has a right to articulate whatever he wants, and we have a right to respond however we want. I have no idea what the man actually said. I did see something about it today, but I don't know what qualifies or disqualifies anybody from running for anything. You know, somebody said to me the other day, a friend of mine who saw the same graphic that you put up earlier, I think her exact question was, how the hell are you qualified to do this? And I started to explain how she was right and how I wasn't. And, you know, Bobby said something to me. He said, there's so many skeletons in my closet. If you really open it up and give it a look, and if they could all vote, I'd be king of the world, which made me laugh. You could probably find stupid stuff that anybody has said. But what really qualifies a man or woman to run for president or vice president? I think you got to be 35. I think you need to have been born in this country. After that, I don't know about qualifications. I guess we could talk experience and judgment and temperament and all of those other things, and everybody gets to weigh and measure everybody and put it all under a microscope and decide. Personally, I stopped watching football after the Colts left Baltimore, so I don't know how much use I can be on that.
Oh, wow.
Dude.
God, I love him.
Listen, the one day that I was compared to Jeff Daniels from Newsroom, I almost cried. I was like, really? It made my month. I have been compared to Mike Rowe one time, which was during my Mike Pence debate when I first got started, and it was like my 7th video. And I completely I woke up at like 5:30. My voice was raspy, and I just got into my writing, and that was like the highlight of my life when somebody said that. He is, in my opinion, if he's faking, he's the best damn faker I've ever seen, because I've never seen him not be authentic. I've never seen him not be real. I'll tell you right now, if he's right, I will vote for JFK or RFK. If he's on that ticket, I will vote for him. I've wanted Mike Rowe to run for president for 20 fucking years. And I would give him my vote like that. If he ran for dog catcher, I would move to the state and I'd vote for him. Liv, want your opinion? Leroy, I know who RFK is. I know he's not, I disagree with him more than I agree with him. But I also heard RFK talk about Ukraine and talk about the process of the United States rebuilding the government and installing Ukraine and essentially performing a coup, which is absolutely correct. And the trading of missiles in Turkey and the stand down with Clinton trading missiles out of Ukraine and their biochemical capabilities to offer protection, and the demonstration that NATO would no longer move as far east as this line and has constantly creeped up against Putin. I don't defend Putin, but the fact that he can speak articulately about Tony Blair and he can speak articulately about European history, RFK is a very smart man. And I believe as a president, I don't think that he would lead with an iron fist of rule. I believe he would do just that and listen to the people around him. He's growing on me. I don't like his gun stance. I don't like his abortion stance. I don't like a lot about his trade policy. There's not much I love about him, but I will tell you, he is an intellectual, and my God, that would be a great thing to get back in the White House. Liv, your thoughts?
Well, until I saw this video, I completely forgot RFK was even running. That's how little he is in the public eye. And because of that, I think this is a popularity grab. And Mike Rowe and Aaron Rodgers, two completely different people.
Oh, totally.
I mean, you're trying to get one of the best quarterbacks and most loved quarterbacks, and then you got Mike Rowe, one of the most beloved commentators of all time. And just complete opposites. I think it's a popularity grab to get his name back in the public eye. And my opinion is Mike Rowe, don't do it. I don't want him in politics, because politics is going to change him and it's going to change who he is.
Wow.
And he's very authentic, but politics is going to change him because he will have to change, because he's going to have to curtail to people, because he's going to be stuck in the political fray. And if for whatever reason they happen to win and he becomes vice president, then he's stuck kissing ass to the American people for the next 4 years so they can get reelected. And it's going to completely change him. And my opinion is absolutely don't do it.
Mike Rowe won't do this, in my opinion. Mike Rowe is entertaining the thought because this does bring a considerable focus on his foundation. And I bet you that the cut on the video that he talks about Mike Rowe works. He would never use his own. He'll admit he uses his celebrity for his foundation. But the fact that he had a conversation with RFK is very interesting. Let me ask you a question, Liv. Do you think Donald Trump, that Mike Rowe would ever be the VP for Donald Trump?
No, I don't think so.
I don't either. And I don't think Mike Rowe wants the job, because he's been approached about president many times and he's like, I don't want the job. I would never. I don't want it. But it's interesting that he had that conversation with RFK, because I really think this is the first person to ever approach him and actually ask him. Leroy, what are your thoughts?
You know, to Olivia's point, RFK doesn't really stand a chance in
no way.
In a race, right? So this would all be for show and tell. This would all be for pomp. Now, I will say this. I absolutely love Mike Rowe. I love what he has done in turning through his television shows and through his works and documentaries, how he has taken the working class and kind of changed it by giving it a face and turned it into a hero class in a lot of ways. What he's done is taken people that work with their hands, that build stuff, right? And given them a name and a face and allowed them to say, hey, look, you don't necessarily have to have a 4-year or master's or a doctorate in order to have a good living. You just have to have a skill, a little bit of discipline, and some drive, right? And that's what he did. It was just an unbelievable guy. And not to mention, he is like the white Morgan Freeman, the way his voice carries.
Yeah.
Right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Just amazing. To Matt's point, you know, if they did win, we've covered this on the show before too. If they did win, then your job for the next 4 years is just working for re-election. right? And then your second term, that's when you would do any of your crazy change because everything's done at that point. Right, you've already gotten in for the second term, so that's where all the major change happens. The first term, it's really just a lot of glad handing, and yes, we're going to do this, and you're really trying to appease a certain level of people so that you can get that vote the second time around.
Yeah.
I love the guy, but this would be a wise move.
Yeah, I love Mike Rowe. I don't want to see him do it, and honestly. He doesn't have a chance. But what they do have a chance, if you put him on the ticket, is to literally, it would bleed from Trump. Trump is already going to bleed from RFK in the loop. And you put Mike Rowe on that ticket, and Trump better kiss this goodbye. Because that will take 7% of the vote away from him. That's scary. So I like that he's doing it. It's putting pressure. It makes RFK a viable option for Trump to stick him on the ticket now because he's making that challenge that puts him in the limelight. He's getting national airtime, and people are like, wow, you know what? I wasn't considering RFK, but now I am because of Mike Rowe. And what that does is it makes him a possibility for a viable candidate for a VP. This is why we have to wait. 6 months ago, we all said there's no chance that Nikki Haley, a year ago, there's no chance. Well, look what she did. And remember, if you look at some of these state votes, when she was off the ticket, she had declared she was done. Go look at the last round of primaries, and she took something like 47, 48% in some states of the vote still, and she was out. That's a pretty big number. So it's just going to be interesting. All right, caller, where are you from, and what do you want to talk about?
Oh, I'm from Canada.
Oh, it's Canada.
Hey, Mel.
How's that Canada doing? What's up, Mel? What do you want to talk about?
Oh, the sun came out and the temperature's gone up, so it's actually really going to be a really good weekend.
Nice.
I just have 1 point or two, whatever. I think Mike Rowe, like whatever. I really love. Everybody loves Mike Rowe. Canada, the world loves, because the guy is so honest. He's so whatever, and he is no bullshit. So whoever puts him on his ticket, ooh, that's going to be an interesting whatever. But I don't think Mike is going to succumb to either of anybody's tickets. That's just my view.
I agree with you.
I just have a question. In going through all this, like this trial shit with all the DJT shit, and I'm like, reading in my wonderful new books that I've got that you sent me, and the Amendment 8 in the Constitution, there is a clause of basically over penalizing and what's it say? It says excessive fines imposed, not cruel and unusual punishments inflicted. So does Donald have a case in that to go forward with all of his cases, with E.J. Carroll and the New York thingy, blah, whatever, with the $9,000 million that he has to pay there, and they want to take his buildings? Does he have a rebuttal using that as a case?
So I want to make sure I frame the question right. So Mel, what she's asking is in the clause that talks about unfair penalty, unfair seizure and forfeiture of personal property as a punitive repercussion for committing a crime in a criminal sense or a civil sense. Does Donald Trump have an appeal based upon the severity of the fine that was applied towards him? Is that what you're asking, Mel?
Yes, it is.
Awesome. Leroy.
My interpretation of that is that, yes, he absolutely does. And that appeals process can be taken all the way up.
Oh, can you not hear him?
No, I can't. Sorry.
Okay. So this is the problem, is that audio is not working two-way. This is a problem we've had before, and somehow it got screwed up. So
and that's okay. You guys, you can answer it, whatever. I just wanted to throw that out. After reading all these wonderful books, and like I told you before, I put sticky notes in all these pages, reading, going through the things, the criminal cases that are out there now, especially against Donald J. Trump. And I'm like, yeah, there's some weird whatever. And is it viable? And that was
all right. Well, let's let him answer it, and then you can listen to the replay on it. So, Leroy, go ahead. You said yes.
Sure. My interpretation of it, and I am not a lawyer, but I am to understand that cases, when elevated to either their state Supreme Court or beyond, whatever circuit court can hear it, there's always a path for rebuttal. And because this is kind of taken point out of the state of New York, right? If it does go beyond the walls of the state of New York, then Trump absolutely could see a reversal in any of the decisions that were made within the state. But again, I'm not a legal expert.
Okay, so can you hear him now?
I just heard the very end of
Perfect.
What he said.
I figured out how to fix it. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and answer. Liv, did you have any chime in on that, the penalties? Okay, so I want you to take Donald Trump's net worth.
Yep.
And you have to look at what he said he had available, which was a little shy of $500 million.
Yep.
And they went ahead and took this penalty. Now I want you to look what they did to Alex Jones. They levied, how much did they put up against him? Do you remember?
I don't.
It was.
Liv, look it up, please.
It was over the 200 million.
It was much more than that. If I'm not mistaken, if you take a look at the overall penalty, it was almost $1 billion.
Oof.
Yeah.
So if you take that in a civil trial and they demonstrated wrongdoing against Alex Jones and collectively sued his estate and his overall ownership and properties, $1 billion would be an excessive penalty to Alex Jones.
It says $1 billion.
I know. I was having you look it up. Just see, when I say things, I want backup. That's all, because people challenge things all the fucking time. So that would be excessive. So under the thought process there, Alex Jones should be able to appeal that and say that it's excessive. Now, the only difference is that Alex Jones was found liable for slander and defamation, and there were damages that preclude that. So therefore, because he was found in a civil case to be liable for that, those penalties are not deemed as severe because it's based upon his assets and his overall worth. Donald Trump is worth, supposedly, according to him, over $4 billion. And with his properties and everything else, just because his cash on hand is $500 million, I don't anticipate that this is going to be something they can appeal. They can appeal the penalty, but they are certainly going to be able to appeal the decision itself, retroactively going back to 2014 and using certain loans that had no business being seen. They can talk about the inability for jurisprudence and the fact that the judge himself had shown animus towards Donald Trump and a hatred towards Donald Trump, including some of the recordings that were done by the gentleman who used to work for Project Veritas, who got him in a gym and had him talking and high-fiving over getting Trump. The excessive decisions that were made on his First Amendment rights and trying to, censor Donald Trump from speaking out and defending himself, even in court or out of it. So there's going to be a lot of red meat on the bone for appeal, and the penalty is probably going to be one of the last things that they touch. In my opinion, I don't believe that is going to stand the test of scrutiny. That's my opinion. And I already said the statute of limitations. So there is a lot of things that are pretty holy in this case. It's taking water. And here's the thing. Everyone's like, Donald Trump, poor Donald Trump. Donald Trump's kicking the living shit out of the legal system right now. This guy he's bulletproof. Everything's falling apart. You've got Bragg, who just extended the case. You've got freaking You got Letitia, whatever her fuck. They're questioning her ability to bring this case. You look at Bragg, who had to push it back. You go ahead and take a look at Fannie Willis, Fani, and you look at what's going on there with this case, and 6 of those charges were dropped completely. And now you have her, who they're gonna go ahead and proceed this to dismiss all charges. And here's the reason why: is the judge admitted guilt. Otherwise, he wouldn't have to remove the dipshit. And they said, you have to remove him. And Herman Edwards, or whatever his face is, that's not Herman Edwards, that's Baltimore Colts old head coach. But what he said was, you have to remove him. Well, that right there shows that there was malfeasance and wrongdoing, and they perjured themselves. So why is he having to be removed unless there was something wrong? They were both involved. So therefore, the judge is using political pressure and the sway of public opinion to alter his ruling. This should be thrown out based upon the fact that there is malfeasance. You also have to look at some of the document case from Bragg. 100,000 documents were held, and in the state of New York, you have 15 days once disclosure starts to make sure all documents from the prosecution are handed over to the defense for declaration. And you have to hand that over. It's a state law. Well, they broke that because just now they said we need another 30 days to process these 100,000 documents that they knew they had. Right there, that's dismissal. So these cases are not going well for the state. It's not going well for the federal government. And ultimately, they're a bunch of shit shows, and they're not going to be handled before the election. I don't think we have anything to worry about. Donald Trump is going to have an election. He is going to face Joe Biden. I have been saying it for 3 years, and we'll see what he does about a VP pick. You guys know what I think. There you go, Mel. Long answer to a short question.
Well, yeah, and that just comes down to the E.G. Carroll, whatever, because it started out originally, I think, around $5 million, and now it's at what, 80, 90 mil, whatever. And
good. Donald Trump should have kept his mouth shut. Trump should have kept his mouth shut. That's his fault.
Yeah. Oh, most definitely. Like, the guy needs to put gun tape, because, I call it gun tape disease. Just zip it. Like, just fucking zip it sorry for the F word, but just zip it. But anyways, they increased it from 5 mil to all of a sudden this 82.5, like whatever. And I'm like, so that's where I came to after reading the books that I got from you. Thank you very much, because I've been very diligently going through each and every page and going, what can I apply this to in today's relevance to cases and shit that is going on, especially now with these big ones that are going on. I'm like, And when I saw that Amendment 8, and I'm like, wow, that's an excessive fine, and even the massive whatever for his next whatever for 500 whatever million billion gazillion dollars that they're all trying to. I'm like, really? My advice to Donald J. Trump is to liquidate all your assets in New York, like take it all out, sell it all, and put it in escrow and do whatever or whatever it is in the States. Here it's escrow, but just take it all out of there. Pull right out of the whole
I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't do that.
Yeah.
You know what I would do? I would go ahead and open up a charter and a foundation, a 501c3, to rehouse all sanctuary. Hold on, let me finish. I gotta finish. I let you finish. Let me finish. To open up a 501c3 for relocation of all sanctuary cities across all 49 other states, to relocate all immigrants to Trump Tower, empty it out, and make an illegal immigration hotel for all of those illegal immigrants and give them to New York. And I would bankrupt the fuck out of New York. Crime would increase. Hold on. What? Just I'm not done, Mel. But
only I can get them off.
If you want to play games, let's play games. Because if you think that they're going to liquidate his properties for this, you're insane. People think that a bond, people think that posting a fine is that he has to give them $486 million. That's not what he has to do. He has a percentage of that. It's a bond. And there are plenty of opportunities. And he has True Social, where he just profited $4 billion on the sale of True Social if he decides to do that. So I'm really not worried about that. But he needs to do something that will absolutely screw the city of New York. And I think that would be great. Charter flights, drop all the illegals into that country, put 10 million people into New York, take those properties and build high rises and screw them over till the cows come home. Mel, we got to go. We love you.
1,000%. I agree.
Thanks, kiddo.
Bye, Mel.
And even though,
love you.
See you, Mel.
Love you, kiddo.
Even though it's a lofty joke, maybe what you could do is make it the RNC headquarters. I don't know, but the point is he has property. I personally think that he should pull a DeSantis and start shipping illegals there. I think New York would love it. Leroy, you got your 1 minute. Go.
What a great show. First of all, the fact that when we came into this, it was largely unscripted. And from that, right, we transitioned through knocking on Fabio from Portugal. And we were able to kind of poke a little fun at him and have some fun. We talked a little bit about Benny Johnson and the nature of authoritarianism. We talked a little bit about the VP and how his endorsement or how his refusal to cooperate with Trump in non-endorsing the election was absolutely the right thing to do. And then we talked about Mike Rowe. So it was just a fantastic show. For a show that wasn't unscripted, we sure did cover a lot of territory, and it was fun.
Yeah, I had a good time tonight. I thought it was a good time. Liv, did you? I do want to put in a couple of donations because this is important, and these people have not asked to remain anonymous. Tom,
thank you.
Donated $103.48.
Thank you so much, Tom.
Tom, you are the best. Appreciate you. That is a huge number, and we love seeing it. That helps. That's going to pay for Olivia's second liver transplant surgery. So we're really excited about that. And then we had, and nobody will know because we have like 75 Amy's here. We had Amy who also donated $10. Thank you, Amy, for doing that. We love you. Yep, you were the best. And we also sold quite a bit of shirts and swag. The most recent is got to go to Shopify and look it up. Hold on. We sold, come on. Here it is. Tammy decided to go ahead and buy let's see, a Red Friday version mug. Love to see it. A Let's Take America Back shirt. In red and blue, which you can't go wrong with that in any way, shape, or form. If you haven't seen this new shirt, I will tell you it's pretty damn cool. If you haven't had a chance to take a look at it, I will. You can give it a chance and take a look at it at thedumbshow.com if you haven't seen it. But if you give me 2 seconds, I will find it for you so you can take a look. There it is. And this is the latest and greatest shirt. And it is the Donald Trump 2024 Let's Take America Back shirt. We've got that in coffee mugs. It's selling like hotcakes. People are stoked. 10% goes to Trump for America, which we are all about doing that for you. So if you want to do that. Liv, anything?
I'm going to go study my Irish accent so I can please you.
Wow.
All right.
Sweet. Jesus, that's as hard as it is. I didn't know. All right, listen,
God.
folks, we are off for the weekend. We are back on Monday, and we will have a recorded show in the morning. We'll have some news tomorrow, like I always do. Wake up Saturday and kind of top off the entire week. Thanks for your support. Thanks for everything you do. You can donate to us. We appreciate everybody who does. It pays the bills. It takes care of keeping us free, and that's the most important thing. Thanks for watching. We had a crap ton of people on. We broke 280, 290 at least.
Yeah, there was almost 90 on Rumble. At one point, I think we had like 160 on Facebook or something.
Good to see. Friday nights are doing well. They're now becoming one of our best nights. Fridays and Mondays are fantastic. Thanks for watching the Donut Fremy Show. I had a lot of good time with everybody. Sorry about the English bloke. It'll get okay, Koffa. All right. Good night, everybody. We'll see you soon.
Good night.
Bye.
Love you guys.
Adjusting transmitter output.
This is the Don't Unfriend Me Show with your hosts, Matt, Leroy, Amy, Olivia, and Mike. Geopolitics, military analysis, and election coverage. Coming to you live on the Spreely.tv network and all major social media channels at The Dumb Show. Honest, direct, unfiltered. We can agree, we can disagree. Just don't unfriend me.